to the Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode 232. Yeah, nice. Don't start with
Why
that
have we never
freaking
done that before?
balloons.
Yeah, I'm not going to do balloon. Oh, yeah, I forgot if I put my fucking hands up. I'm not going to do
See?
anything. I'm going to sit on my hands the whole show.
I do what you want. I'm not jealous.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Well, that's Dave. I'm
Yeah,
Christian.
it's me.
We're
Yeah.
back again. Same format. We're loving this format. It's loose, yet
Loose
it
is
feels
good.
like we've got purpose. What the fuck am I talking about already?
It's loose, yet we've got purpose. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
sure. I'm loose and I got purpose myself, so that's okay, man. You know?
So was the stool that I just released right before the show too, but
Poor
I think that was just
bastard,
some
my
of the amount
sleeper.
of coffee I had this morning. Sorry, everybody, but now you know.
Yep, that'll do it.
Anyway, the road to
Anyway.
250, Year of the Slasher Part 2 continues. And I mean, I was just telling Dave right before we hit record, and we're like, what are we doing? This is gold. Let's save it for the show. And there's nothing gold about it. This
No,
is like, I still watched a lot of movies compared to like what a lot of people do, but not necessarily what our core listener group does, because it seems like a lot of us watch a lot of movies. Not all of us, but it seems like we all kind of watch a lot of movies. And I've watched 8 since we last recorded, but not 8 slashers, just 8 movies. Only 2 are officially slashers.
Oh, well, okay. We'll get to it. I don't even know what I've watched. I got to look and say I was going to wait till we got to, I don't even know how many I've watched.
Well, you can hold it
I
off to
watched-
later. I'm not getting into it yet.
That's
I
what
just
I'm doing.
had it,
Yeah.
I had it available to me. That's why.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't even know what I've watched. I know I've watched enough to discuss. That's for sure. And I guess, you know, we're having fun doing this and nobody seems to be complaining. So at least about these episodes, maybe some other episodes in the past people were complaining about.
I was not going to get, I was going to bring it up last weekend.
It's funny
for you.
though. I don't care.
I'm going to be like, Jesse's on you, man. But
Poor
then
Jesse.
he kind of explained himself afterwards too. He kind of said, I bust everybody's balls and everything else and this, that, and the other thing. And he still listens. So all good, all good.
And the things that he griped about really don't really happen much anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I try to keep it focused and to a degree and just not to address certain things. It's been a long time since certain things were addressed. And honestly, I don't even think I was the one that brought things up. So I just try to just keep it centered and not talk about the world around me because honestly, I don't want to think about it. I don't even want to leave the damn house. Why do I want to think about what's outside of it? You know what I mean? I just don't care.
You should be writing and writing and writing. You should be writing all those movie ideas that we've come up with in the past, other than the one and a half that I've sort of started done. I mean, I told you, like, as an update, that motivational email that was given to us to tell me to maybe stop focusing on the new one and go back and just rewrite Happy Trails got me rewriting Happy Trails, but it's not
good.
I'm not doing it day in and day out. And this is where I struggle. I should stop watching movies on a plane and I should start writing. I've mentioned this on the show before, but when I'm on a plane, I don't feel like I just feel like there was people around me and I want to fucking just go into a zone and watch
Get
movies.
out.
I don't want to.
Yeah, not have to hear them.
Yeah, but check this out. The last trip I was on, I had all these movies. Everything in my iPad was fucking horror. Everything except for one movie, In the Line of Fire, which happens to be one of the movies I watched. And I was there, and then I had a show, a bunch of episodes of a show done. I'm fine. I'm sitting down. This lady sits beside me. Poor woman had 3 kids under 6 with her. And she put them all in a row on the other side. I'm like, okay, good. That's gonna be hell, but she'll have to deal with it. And okay, I'm in my zone and whatever. And then it already started before the plane even started moving. They were getting all uppity. Well-behaved kids. It's just they're kids, man. They're young kids.
Yeah, man.
So she had to sit beside one, and she plopped the oldest one beside me. I'm like, well, now I can't watch horror because they're. Like, I mean, this kid is like my every move, like watching everything. He's trying to get cartoons up on the TV on the thing, but he's looking at me. And I was watching The Ruins, which is a great movie.
Yeah,
and again, I'll get to that later. But I mean, that's not a slasher, obviously, but that's one of the ones I'd watch. I'm like, well, I'm not watching that one. So then I ended up having to watch some of the this comedy show that I download, The League season 2. I've already watched The League, but it was on Netflix or Prime or one of them. So I just downloaded a few episodes for these exact situations where I'm just like, ah, fuck, I'm stuck. I can't watch what I want to watch. So I'm going to watch something that at least I can enjoy. Then I got
You
kind
know
of
what
tired
you
of watching
yeah.
that. So I watched In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood.
Okay, right on. Well, what I would do is this. I would have just like a
Drug the
horror
kid beside
movie.
me, a little chloroform, and then just
Imagine
watch what I
that.
want to watch.
No, just put on like a comfort movie that's a horror movie, but that happens to be rated like PG. Like
Well,
have like Poltergeist there or something,
I did have the
or
Goosebumps show downloaded. I'm not
Mr.
gonna lie,
Goosebumps.
I had it ready to go. I was gonna watch it, but
Nice.
then I thought that would still be the kid was 6.
Yeah,
And
true.
whatever. So I was just trying to be like
Right.
conscientious of the
No,
fact that he was there. Some people wouldn't
good.
care,
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't do that. I
uh,
wouldn't let a kid see that. I'm like
yeah.
you. Yeah, I'm too worried about other people, which
Yeah,
is
and
why
then
I don't
he's
want to leave the
hit. I
house.
felt bad for the guy in front of him because he's hitting the fucking.
Uh-huh.
And it's a touch screen, right? So he's hitting the thing like this, and the guy sees.
Oh, the guy ahead
And
of
I'm
him.
losing I'm laughing my head off. I'm like, no, hold on. You just have to touch it like this. I'm showing him. And the mom's like in the middle. She's like looking at me. And I'm like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. He wasn't bothering me. He was actually like, I
Right.
told her at the end, she's like, sorry and thank you. I'm like, oh, no, he was great. Don't worry about it. Then
Right.
on a side note, not that I was planning on going on to the story, we get out and so I go, go. You have your hands full. And then the other two kids go in front of me, and I'm like, oh, wait for your mom, and whatever. They beeline it, and it's was it Thursday night or Friday night? Thursday night, and it was like yeah, because it's Saturday. It was Thursday night, so I guess people were already leaving for March break or something like that. The airport was packed. These kids
Mm.
disappear into the crowd.
Oh
I'm
wow,
freaking out.
really?
And then she comes out, they're like, where
Damn,
are they? I'm
dude.
like, I see them. They went down this way. I'm like, get back
What
to
the?
your mom. Get back to your mom. And then we get one of them. He comes up. The other one's gone. So there's one kid
Oh
missing.
my gosh.
We have no clue where the kid went.
Freaking.
And then she's like, don't worry, go. I'm like, well, no, I feel bad. She's like, no, I'm gonna go, I gotta take him with them. I'm like going through the airport going, I feel horrible. What if this kid's like gone? Like I have
Right.
no clue where this kid
Right,
went.
man.
Just disappeared into thin air. I'm like,
I
damn it, I
never
could have watched
understood
that
that.
damn movie now and not had to worry
Right.
about it because the kid's gone.
Yeah, kid's dead. He's not gonna
It's
tell anybody anything. He's gonna turn up in a
horrible.
freaking ravine
Yeah.
in about
And they're
2
gonna think
weeks.
I did it because I'm a horror fanatic.
Right.
It was that
Yeah,
horror
the
freak
fingers would
beside
point
him. He
to
was
you.
watching, yeah.
That you would get the blame. That's the sad part. You're right. You would get the blame. They go, you should have seen what this guy next to me was watching. He
Yeah.
must have been the one. You know, forget DNA evidence and everything
Yeah.
else. Fingers are pointing to you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's freaking brutal.
Anyway,
But
so I don't know. There's
you
no
know,
happy ending because I have no clue she found her kid. I checked the ticker tapes. There's no kid was missing at Pearson Airport. So everything's good.
well that's good. She didn't. He didn't run into freaking what's his name?
She had two others. So
Reverend.
like, I mean, how like it
Right.
can't be that big of a blow.
How many you need? Like as opposed to me, I got one. I lose one. That's my whole world. You
Yeah.
know, I got nothing to fall back on except the cats over here. I got Ginny right over here as usual. But I mean, it's not the same. But I, oh, I don't. This is the thing about that kids walking off. My daughter Francesca never did that. I never had.
Yeah.
She clung to me like a freaking baby koala bear to her mother. There's no way
Are they known for that?
that
I
freaking. I think so.
yeah, just like that.
I think so. I that's what I picture, like a koala bear.
Hold on,
hanging
we're
on.
getting interrupted by Christian Jr., everybody.
Christian Jr.
Come on in.
Finally, ask him about koala bears.
Yeah. Just put warmer stuff on. Hey, do koala bears cling on to their mothers
To their mothers, no.
just to trees?
The trees, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
There you
thanks.
go.
Thanks
Okay,
for that input.
like a koala bear clinging to a tree.
Bye,
I'll
buddy.
rephrase it. Thank you. Christian Jr. saved the day. What
Yeah.
timing? Wow, jump man. So yeah, my daughter never left my side. She freaking, I never had to worry about her going off or wandering off. And if she did wander at all, she would always look to see how I was watching her. Because I had it in her head at a young age, man. Hey, listen,
Yeah.
you got to be careful. And she's just like me now. She doesn't really trust too many people, and she's very, aware of her surroundings. Of course, she's got to get a license soon, and she's going to be out in the real world in college. That's another story. Then I'm not going to be there
Yeah.
every minute. It's
And
not like high
congrats
school.
on that, eh? That's a
Oh,
whole other
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Thanks. What a great.
Congratulations.
She applied at one school,
And
the
got
only
it.
school she wanted to go to, and she got it. And she's going to the medical school that they offer, which is like one of the best, recommended ones in like New York State. So
And I told you before we realized that you lived very close to that campus, we were already doing Exploding Heads, and we were at that campus twice for dance competitions in the past. I know
Isn't that
Dave lives in
something?
North Tonawanda, but we didn't realize it was that close in proximity.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful campus.
Yeah, right.
It's
Yeah,
nice. It's
I'm-
got everything that you need around it and everything else. So
Mhm.
and as I've probably mentioned on the show before, or to you in private, one of the two, she's living at home, right?
Yeah, she has no
Which is
desire to leave.
Well, perfect. No, perfect. Because that's where the
Right.
real expense is. Tuition's not inexpensive. I understand that. But if you add living away as well, holy shit, it doubles.
Yeah. Oh, she has no
Possibly
desire
even
to
more.
get out.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's
She's
great.
no dummy.
Yeah.
She's no dummy. She doesn't want to freaking give up what she has here. Are you kidding
Higher
me? Plus,
education without going into like debt galore. When I hear some of the debt, it's no different from Canadians. But well, let me rephrase that. It is different for Canadians. It's not nearly as extreme. I've heard people going in to like $200,000-$300,000 in the debt or something like that from their university degree, whatever it may be in the States. I'm like, what? Like, I don't even think
ridiculous,
even
isn't
with
it?
doing even if you, well, maybe if you did your doctorate, you'd get up there. But I mean, like ultimately, if you're just doing 4 years, getting a degree and or going for your master's, you're like looking at 5 or 6, even at 6 years, which my daughter has to do. We're not going to be close to that.
That's
That's
good. I don't
crazy.
even know. I don't even know what anything's going to cost yet.
It's the
Either way,
living
she's gonna
away
be-
that does it. But
Well, that's
Yeah.
right. She doesn't
tuition's
want
not
to go. She-
inexpensive. But you'll
Of
know
course.
that ahead out of the gate. Sorry, I'm talking over you there.
No, it is what it is, man. Whatever we find out, we find out. I'm pretty confident she'll get a good scholarship, especially since she has a couple things going for her as far as criteria for scholarships. And there she is. Speak of the devil. Now Frankie walks in.
Hey, congratulations!
Christian just yelled
Wait.
congratulations.
Wait, what do I have to do for that?
She said thank
Look,
you. Come here,
confetti.
look. Oh, look it. Come here. Look. Look, that's for you. Oh, you missed it
do it
now.
again.
No, but watch. Oh, did you see the confetti? Yeah.
Oh, it's not
Yep.
gonna. Well, there we go. Now we did it.
Hey, there you go.
Congrats!
He said
Yeah.
congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No problem.
So she's pretty excited. She's
Look,
over
all
there
the kids
cleaning
are showing up today
that
on the
stuff.
show.
I know. It's
Totally
kid
not
day.
planned. That's awesome.
Yeah. Very strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, she's probably going to get some deals because she's biracial. So that's how things work in this country. So she'll have that going.
Ours
and
too.
she-
Ours too. I mean,
she-
and not
right.
just because, but because they're
That
like
helps.
they've when Jocelyn, who is at Trent, was going and looking at whatever scholarships are available, she got one for just getting good grades in school. She
Which
said
she has.
most of the other ones though were like not all of
No,
them, but
they're
a
all
lot of
good.
them had to do with race, but all different types of race. Whether like if you
Right.
there's like a Jewish grant,
Native. Right.
native, and they also had a lot of that built in as well. I think just based on from a historic standpoint. But yes, definitely, and but a bunch of different ones, none of which she was able to apply for of those ones. But there's a ton. There's like
I'll tell you what,
make
though.
sure I'll just go from experience. Don't be lazy when it comes to seeing what's out there because it's free money. And so, like,
Right.
ultimately,
Of course,
apply
get
for
on
If
it.
she's got the grades for it, get on it.
She does.
Apply for it because I mean, hey, if you don't take it, someone else will, and
Word.
it's better not to come out of your pocket if she's earned it, right? So do it. Take
That's the
advantage.
plan. So
Yeah.
we got to do that. We got to figure that out. We got to see what she's going to drive. She got to get a license. That's a whole other thing.
Oh
But-
man, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
here we go.
whatever. So she's got all that going, and I'll do the best I can, of course. And I don't even know what else I was gonna say about it, but she's doing well. So that's great. So school. So she'll be there next semester, UB. So pretty exciting. But
That's
yeah,
awesome,
so
man.
but she knows she's not gonna leave. She's freaking why would she leave? Because I didn't leave till I was 30. But in my
Yeah.
defense, my parents divorced when I was like, I don't know,
29.
21.
Just kidding.
No.
I'm
So I
sorry.
had the downstairs to myself. What used to be
Yeah.
the family room
Yes,
became my
yes.
bedroom. So I lived at home with my mom, but and again, my mom started dating my stepfather now. You know what I mean? So and she started going out more. You know what I mean? So half the time nobody's home because they're either they're spend time at his house. They're not going to come to my house. You know what I mean? My
Yeah.
dad just moved out a few. It's just that's not the way you would do it. You know. So the kids are still living there, and they were hanging at his place or going out, whatever they were doing. Half the time, there I am in my 20s with a freaking empty house. You know, and my younger brother, and it was great. So I was just whatever. So I
And
stayed
there's a
as
new
long as I could,
sitcom,
man.
Empty House.
Empty house. Yeah,
Instead of
it's a
Full
good
House,
slasher.
instead of Empty Nest, we just combined two different titles. And do you remember
Right.
that show, Empty Nest? I think I've seen one episode of it.
Yeah, I used to watch a bunch of it because it was the it started off with it was a spin-off from Golden Girls. Dr. Harry lived next door.
It was
The
a
Golden
spinoff
Girls.
of Golden. How did I not know that?
Yeah,
Why is
yeah.
my
The
voice so
dog was
snowy?
on. He was on. Dreyfus was the dog. He was Dr.
Yes,
Harry was
sir.
on. He was the next door neighbor. Not a whole lot of episodes, but he was there.
Hold on 1 second.
Update on koalas? Okay.
No. What's up? Dave, bear with me 1 sec.
Do your thing.
I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
Want me to
I
stop
can-
it?
I'll wing it. Nah, I'll wing it.
Okay. I'll be back.
Make it easy. All right. So I'm solo. Who knows what happened? But maybe we'll find out when he gets back. So, what the hell was I saying? People, I don't even know what I was just talking about. How bad is this? But I'm not going to complain about my health because I know somebody doesn't like that out there. It's okay though. I'm. What do you call it? I'm not thin-skinned, but I still let things. I don't completely ignore when I see anything negative said about me. I still remember. I don't I don't cry about it or freaking make a big deal about it or let it affect anything I'm doing. Unless now, if everybody was complaining, that's one thing. But if one person out of how many that listen or weigh in has some negatives to say about anything, then you can't do that. Here's what I don't get. Why do really famous people that are making money even care to talk to people like on their on their socials? You've already won the game of life. You're making big money. You're doing great. What anyone thinks of you or doesn't think of you just really shouldn't matter at that point. I mean, you're making money and you have fame for a reason. Obviously, enough people are interested in what you're doing. So it would never make sense to me to respond to any type of negative stuff. And that's the worst thing about Twitter, man. Like the fact that all the celebrities are on it and that people were weighing in and talking to them and they were talking back. I would always like, man, what are you doing? You can't be that insecure, But whatever. I know I wouldn't look at it. I would have zero. Even though you're supposed to have social media to, get your name out there and to sell your product, which is you. What's the word they like to use? Whatever, your brand. I get that to a degree, but then again, some people don't. I know Mia Goth isn't on freaking social media. I know Fiona Apple isn't on social media. So they don't have to want for money or anything like that, I don't think. So it isn't necessary, but people tend to do it. But whatever. I know I wouldn't. To me, having a bunch of money, I could achieve my dream of not being around people. So it's like I'd lock myself up in a freaking house up a hill that's far away from the street and everything else, and I would just be private and happy. I would do as little interacting with human beings as possible.
You've always said this, and I kind of jumped into here, and I actually had to take my headphones out for a second because Christian was talking. I couldn't hear a thing. Is that you never wanted fame? You just wanted,
Never.
riches. And I don't
Right.
disagree with that because
No.
fame brings a whole bunch of headaches. Not that riches doesn't, because everybody will come out of the woodwork when they find out that you've got money, whether it be you, me, anybody out there. You'll get people that you haven't spoken to in frickin' decades. So hey, I heard this. That's why if I ever won, I would go in with a COVID mask, a fucking hat. You got to use your name, but I try to use, like, people have argued or tried to fight to have it anonymous so that they don't have to like like have their name there or anything else. But I don't know it. I don't know if they've passed it that part of the process is you have to give your name. I don't know how it is in the States.
For what? Give your name for what
If
exactly?
you win the lottery or something like that, then you have to
Oh,
go out
I
and,
don't know about that. I
I
don't
don't
know about
I
that.
honestly don't know if that's what you're talking about. I'm just saying coming into riches. I'm just saying the downfall is you think it solves a bunch of things, which it does. It solves, the
Good
financial
for me.
woes, but it could introduce a whole other slew of headaches.
It could give you other opportunities that could lead to your downfall, but if you're smart, it shouldn't happen. If you
Yeah.
have a bunch of money and you just take your money and you don't have to invest it because that could be dangerous. But and if it's enough money just to have, you just have it. You don't gotta tell nobody nothing. You pay your house off, you buy your house for your parents, this, that, but whatever you mean, you're close people, and you still live the way you live. Just modestly. And like I said,
Yeah.
I would live further. Here's why I would move, because I want to be I want to be in a house that's on a hill away from freaking, you know what I mean? I want to be away.
On
Not because
Haunted
I want
Hill.
a giant house on a hill or anything like that, but I do want to live comfortably, and I don't want to have like neighbors in a street and stuff like that. I just
You want to
want
piss down on society. You want to step out your front door and say, I piss all over yous. I think I might move to the woods. I think I do like moods and but for 12 months of the year, I just live in it. Not like, like a shack in the woods, but just to
well, no.
like, a property with a little bit more land that I don't have to necessarily deal with people all the time. But
And if
close
you're really
enough,
smart,
that you've got all the amenities nearby, but
mhm,
not necessarily on a 24/7 basis.
true, true. I I think you could have a lot of money and be famous and be smart enough not to go in public. The only time you have to go in public, I guess, is to board a plane or so. Unless you're filthy rich and you can buy your own plane and have your own place to land it, and then avoid going in the airports. Even then, that'd be wonderful. But here's the thing about fame. I don't want it now. I just want money now. But the advantages to being famous, there's one advantage only, and if I would have been in the past 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, even now if I were single, I wouldn't mind the because that's your introduction to women. There's women all over the place that want you.
Hey, I'm
And
famous.
that's what it is. So if you're famous and rich, you can hook up with women that you ordinarily may not have been able to hook up with. So for me, that's unfortunately that's what trumps a lot of things. You know what I mean? Well, I'm
Well,
married, so that doesn't matter now. But if I were single and I could have variety and a different girl a week and everything, that's what I would do. There's no question about it. It could lead to your downfall. But to me, I kind of put that above everything else. Is having a lot of sex with a lot of women that I'm attracted to. And I'm sorry if people don't like hearing that, then they can
I'm
say
not,
what they
I'm not,
want. But it's
I only
being
laugh.
honest.
I'm not
I
against
enjoy
it
it.
either. I'm not
I
against it
enjoy it.
either. I love how
I
you just
love
have to
it.
be apologetic about it too. It's funny to me.
Well, we have to be apologetic now because it's just the climate. You know what I
Which
mean?
is so
I
weird.
did a test
Is it the
recently.
climate though? Because like the climate is so bizarre. There's such extremes. The climate
Not
is
to get
we've got to
into it.
watch what we say. I don't know, no, but we have to watch what we say. Yet there's things like Tinder and Grinder and
Oh
everything
my
else for
God, I missed
same
that boat.
sex, whatever, like hookups. Like, hey, let's just meet up for whatever. I just say like it's so like one extreme the other way of just easy access, if you will, and then but then we've got to watch how we word things on the other side. It's so bizarre to me.
It depends on who you're talking. There's the general public, and then there's the people that keep it real that want to talk about
Feel?
this stuff and will do it. They just don't do it in public. You know what I'm saying? That's what it
Yeah.
is. They'll do it privately, but the way they act in public is different. And you're right. And everybody's different. See, that's what I'm the most bummed out about, honestly, is that I missed out on that freaking Tinder or Grinder or whatever that crap
Well,
is, because
cor-
that's
you missed out on Grinder. That's what you missed out on.
whatever they are.
Yeah.
I missed out
Right,
on them because
everybody?
I would. Well, I see people hooking up on Grinder because I watch a lot of these. What do you call it? These
Games,
pedophiles
movies.
getting pedophiles getting caught, right? And a lot of times they have to say where they met them, and a lot of times they meet them on Grinder.
Oh, really?
Even if because people will still go on there, and like someone will pose as a 13-year-old girl, trying to lure an older man.
Oh, that's
And sometimes they
Grinders
meet
for
on
gay.
Grindr.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
I'm assuming
typically that's what
Grindr's-
they said. But
Okay.
apparently everything goes on there. But
Yeah.
yeah, Tinder is more straight. But Grinder, there isn't like a rule saying you have to be homosexual to be here. So
Well, no,
but there's still
exactly, I get-
hookups that go there. You know what I mean? But either way, I'm just
Wow.
bummed out because I missed out on all that, because that's what I would be literally doing every single day.
Your segue there
going-
probably could have used a little finesse as you're talking about pedophiles and posing as a 13. I go, and I missed out on all of that.
Oh jeez. Oh my God. No, I don't. No, not that.
I know. I knew what you meant. I know.
Well,
what
I
you
was
meant.
saying it
I think
before.
everybody out there knew what you meant, but
gotta make sure, though.
Yeah, just to make sure we clear that up. I knew it. You
Got
meant
to make sure.
yes.
They should not be
legal-
let out.
Yes. Yeah.
They should not be let out of jail. I watch stuff all the time. I watch
Wow.
Skeeter Gene. I watch some old Chris Hansen stuff. I watch some other Predator stuff on YouTube. I watch the chat logs. I see when they bust the people and they meet them. I love seeing them get busted and stuff. So anyway, I've been watching a lot of that, and I hear they have all these different chat clients now people talk on. So they're like chats. They're like chat, what do you call it? Apps that people chat on as opposed to doing phone conversations. I didn't even knew this existed until I'm watching all these videos, and that's where they solicit, these young girls. Of course, they're not real; it's a sting operation, but still, that's where they have these chats. And they have like these chat apps now that are just for, which I don't understand. I guess they don't want to give phone numbers, so they just do it there. Or maybe it's a secret thing people can do because they're trying to hide
Wasn't
it
that like
from their
Snapchat or whatever? Wasn't that what that?
no.
I
No,
don't
nothing
even
like
know.
that.
I really never even knew
I think
what
it's like
Snapchat
talk.
was.
One's called. There's different ones. Snapchat has a lot to do with.
It's still more
what do you call
social
it?
media. Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
too
okay,
old
here's
for
a
that
question.
shit. I'm like
Here's a
Danny Glover in
questions.
Lethal Weapon. Every Lethal Weapon ever made. I'm too
Well, hold
old
on.
for
Let
that.
me just press this button and say talking apps and see what they say. Chat apps. Let's see what they are.
WhatsApp will
Okay.
probably be the first one. Like these are they just message apps or there's something different that I'm not even aware of?
Something like that. Look, there's Slack, there's WeChat, there's Line,
Never heard of any of
GroupMe,
these.
Tango Live, Element, Workplace, WhatsApp, Chat Work, Anonymous
I-
Chat Room, Dating App,
I
Text
had
Free,
WhatsApp
Rocket,
because
Spike,
If
Humble,
if you have friends that have Android
Whisper,
and you have friends that have,
Whisper. A lot
that's
of
one
you
of
use
them.
Whisper. That's an app. Yeah. Whisper is
Never heard of
available
it.
for Android and iOS devices, with the developers of the Stranger app claim to enforce strict content moderation and safe environment. Either way, they have these chat
Sounds like it's
apps.
working just fine. It doesn't sound like it's doing any of what it says it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Safe
We-
environment. We're using it as a sting operation to take down pedophiles.
Yeah. 16 best chat apps for 2020.
For
There's a bunch of them.
pedophilia.
Gab. Yeah, right. Mad.
Oh, we're going to
Gab,
be canceled.
WhatsApp,
I think I've said it too many times for
Telegram,
us to
Line, GroupMe,
believe it.
WeChat. There's a bunch of these things. So they talk on these things. Anyway, okay, I'm just gonna mention this right now, nothing to do with anything, but just because I just got a freaking messenger with the 22 Shots gang. Do you think Britney Spears is iconic? Because I do not. Can you name 5 Britney Spears songs?
No,
Or does
I
that
can hear.
matter?
I can hear "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time,"
Yep.
and that's probably it.
Oops,
but I don't know.
I Did It
it's not-
Again.
but- oops. Oh yeah, I thought that was the same song. Oops, I did it again. There's 2. But you know what? That really doesn't matter because it's not our demographic. Yes, she's iconic. She's been around for.
But we were
decades.
there.
Yeah.
But okay, so you think she's iconic? I don't think she's put
Yeah,
out music.
I don't
think-
necessarily like her,
That's
or her
irrelevant. I'm
music,
just talking.
but yeah, I would say
That's
that
not the question.
She's established.
Okay, I don't think she
icon
is. Okay, that's
status,
fine. I guess
yeah.
to me, she seems like a flash in the pan, and she's been mostly a joke for the last 15 years. And
Well,
I
didn't
mean,
she have
when I
like
think of
a? Didn't she have
iconic, I think of Madonna. I think of freaking Diana Ross. I think
well,
of
those are
well, now
those both
Taylor
are too.
Swift.
And
Taylor
that
Swift now. I don't know any of her
Adele.
songs. Okay, but I just don't see her on that level. I think she had a couple really big albums for a short time, and nobody gives a shit now.
No, she was
Like, that's
pretty
just
huge because of those albums, and then dating
yes,
Justin Timberlake, and then she
yeah.
had I think she had a show in Vegas, like a recurring show that brought in a lot of coin. And then once you're at that,
Really?
that status there,
Vegas.
you got that icon status. But
Hmm.
she'd be one of them. The one that
Interesting.
kind of dipped off is the one that you prefer, Christina Aguilera. I think she was
She
approaching that and getting it, and then it just seemed to maybe she just decided to get out of the business. Because it's like we think we said on the show before, show business is the fucking worst if you want to retire, because then you're just a has-been. God forbid you just want to retire. You just want to leave the spotlight and enjoy your life. Because if you're in the limelight at all, then you've just become a has-been,
okay.
which is fucking mean.
Yeah.
What are you
No, she
okay?
did 4 years. 4 years in Vegas at the
Yeah.
Aladdin of all places. Yeah, I didn't know. I just when I think of Britney Spears, I tend to think about the early stuff, and she was a big thing at first. And I was there because, when did she come out? 99 or something like that, or 98, 90,
Oh,
whatever it was. I was
in
in my
around there,
20s.
yeah.
I was well aware of what's being played on the radio, who she is, and everything else, but I just don't see her as, I don't know. I know that people know who she is, but I just don't think that it's different. Like Christina Aguilera, to me, she's more highly regarded than Britney Spears because Christina Aguilera has an amazing voice, and she's known to be a great singer and has that, where Britney's just known as being sexy and a dancer more than anything and having a couple catchy tunes. But it's not like she's, I don't know. Like even
I know.
J-Lo, I don't really like her, but I mean, I
I
could say she's iconic. I could say people are iconic. I just, I just can't go with that. A couple albums in the burnout, and I remember even her third or fourth album. I remember her performing at the one thing, and people just criticizing it, and
Yeah, well,
I just
that
don't.
comes
I
with
don't
being an
know.
icon. Madonna got the same thing.
Well,
Madonna,
initially, but
if
no,
you
but
have
they
to
were.
go back, like and then she wanted to stay relevant, and then she released the Sex book, and what was it, the Truth and Dare movie, and the
Well, she was smart, and it was
um
good stuff.
and Justify My Love video, and it was
Love it.
always trying to, yeah. I'm not against it. I'm just saying that was part of the package, and Britney Spears kind of did things too. Britney Spears tried to break into movies, just like Madonna, didn't really work out that well for her.
Yeah,
Not that it
I
didn't
mean, I
work out well
guess.
for Madonna. Madonna's done quite a few movies, actually.
Oh, of
So I
course.
guess it did work out well for her. It just, she was never regarded as the best actress. But I mean, I think she did well enough. A League of Her Own, she was good in. She was good in Desperately Seeking Susan. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody obviously points to ones that might not be great, which a lot of actors have those ones. We've pointed out on the show.
Yeah,
Whatever,
that's what
right?
we do.
Everybody, when you're an icon, you're a target because society sucks.
So maybe I'm
Why am
wrong.
I Mr. Negative today?
When I pictured that, when someone says Britney Spears, I just don't feel like, I don't know. I picture more of the downtime than the positive. I don't, you know what I mean? That's just like the lasting impression, especially now in all her Instagram videos for the past 4 years when she's just dancing around all the time, and people are saying, is she okay mentally? And then she had that stuff for 10 years before when she had to fight with her father for the rights, and she was involved with some mental stuff, and
Oh, shaved head Britney is the best.
and that and all that other stuff. So I just remember she had a couple really big albums, the first two, and then after that it was just kind of hit or miss for a bit, and then she just kind of fizzled out. Like she doesn't put out new music, and if she does, I don't know about it. So to me, that's not like icon status. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I when I talk about statuses of masters of horror or icons or pedestals, maybe I'm more, I don't know, discerning about it because I think there's only so many in the world. So maybe the credentials, I'm too tough on them, but I only want to bestow the word iconic to so many, because if everybody's iconic, then who's not? I don't know. It just, maybe
Is
I'm
David
wrong.
Cronenberg iconic?
Well, sure he is.
Yeah, we know that. I just was at a dinner the other night that they didn't know that.
Well, they don't. Nobody knows directors. unless they're movie
Well,
people.
but then we've
don't know
also then
directors.
sub-branded Icon in a sense because they're an iconic
An
horror
icon
film
of
director.
horror.
Yeah. So I mean,
Right.
that's a niche of Icon. Britney Spears
Right.
is like, even though it's pop music that we might not all like, you know, she's well known. This is why I was baffled.
Yeah, maybe worldwide.
Baffled when you had no clue who Imagine Dragons were, because
Right.
they
yeah.
had these at least two huge albums that had been out for 10 plus years,
But I
think
asked other people.
14 years.
and
Your brother,
They didn't know
yes.
either. And a friend of mine who maybe said he'd heard one thing, but still, I mean, I think my wife didn't know. Either way, I don't know, because I
it-
never heard it.
I know
Whatever,
it's bizarre, but that's exactly it. But I mean, just because you never heard it doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, maybe there's people out there that don't know who Britney Spears is, and that's fine. But it doesn't take away from the fact that
No,
I guess that impact. But the
I
David
wasn't
Cronenberg
knocking them. I
story
just
is
said I never heard of
actually
them.
interesting because I actually knew that we were out with a bunch of people from work. We had these people visit from clinics all over the GTA, Greater Toronto area, and I knew one of them worked at the clinic that he went into because I remember them telling me. I said I was all big. I don't know how it came up in conversation, but they said, "Oh, David Cronenberg is one of our clients." I'm like, "That's awesome," and whatever.
Wow.
And she said that, yeah, he came in and then she says, "Oh, so what do you do?" Like she had no clue who he was, right? And then he's like, "Oh, I'm a director." He was very humble, very just, "I'm a director," and that's it. Did the stuff, purchased what he needed, what he came in for, left. And then one of the other people that were in there was like, "Was that David Cronenberg?" And she's like, "Yeah, like, what, do you know him?" Or whatever. And she's like, "He's like, yeah, he's like a famous director." So then afterwards she said she Googled him and then felt totally embarrassed that she had no clue who he was. But if you're not a horror person, I can get it.
Right?
But she was just like, "Oh," like she said she felt so bad
Huh.
because he was like realized that he had this whole slew of filmography. Because let's be honest, we talk about his horror, but he's done a lot like outside of the genre as well.
Right.
So
But a lot of people don't know directors. Like even
Yeah.
me, like somebody in my 10 hours that I went on my freaking Facebook the other day, I was going to try to go on for 48. I couldn't take it anymore after 10. So I shut down. But one of the conversations I had was with Jason Smith. He put something up. He said, which director do you prefer or something? It was in his Sinister Cinema group.
Yeah.
And it was, who were the two? Christopher Nolan. And then I forgot the other guy's name again. And I said, I don't know. Oh, I guess he directed the Dune movies.
Oh, Dennis
Right.
Villeneuve. Yeah.
So they said, and they were going back and forth. Like people hold these two in like really high regard. And I'm just like, huh. And I said, I don't know who the other guy
Well-
is. So I guess in this case, I'll pick this. And he goes, are you kidding me? You don't know who he is? I said, no. I go, and then I looked at his thing. I go, I've never seen any of his movies. I know about Dune, I said. And then I forgot the other ones, but I was like, well,
Oh no, he's a
Yeah, I don't
Canadian
know.
director. He's probably possibly one of the most successful Canadian directors now. I mean, we have a handful of them. David Cronenberg being one of them, his son being another one. But this is like next level. I mean, he's doing the blockbusters that are in theaters now, like Dune Part 2. He did Enemy. He did Blade Runner 2049.
yeah, I
or
never
whatever it's
saw it.
called.
I own it, but I've
Um,
never watched it.
He did Prisoners.
Never even heard of it
So,
until
yeah.
that day. And the other one
That-
was said Enemy. I never heard of Enemy or Prisoners.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't know.
he's-
I don't know why.
He's a very good director. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just said, but that's
He's
what I'm
great.
saying.
Oh,
Look
he's
at me.
very good. He's
I know
great.
directors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see. That's what I'm saying. I don't know him. And as far as Christopher Nolan, I know he did the Batmans, right? I don't know what else he's done. I mean, you could maybe tell
Really?
me the titles, but well,
Holy shit.
I, that's not important to me in most cases. It just
Yeah,
it-
but
let's
you're a
say I-
film buff too, and
Yeah.
these two, I would actually give the edge here to Christopher Nolan, but not because the Dune movies are out now. I guess it's even plateaued, but Christopher Nolan, like the Batman movies are what I knew him from Memento. Like that was his
Oh, he did
first,
Memento.
yeah.
Okay, that's a good movie.
Yeah,
See, I
and
just
then,
don't
like,
know.
And then his follow-up to that, which may have been The Dark Knight. No, I think Batman
I-
Begins. I think he did something in between there because he built, and he did, of course, Interstellar, and
Yeah, I've never
Uh,
seen Interstellar, but I
the
want to.
the one with the
Is it the one?
Inception with the
Oh,
dream
I had to
like
turn it off. Yeah,
yeah,
I could. It was
really.
didn't make any lick of sense to me. I was like,
Those are
this
the
does
movies you
it
have to see in the
too much.
theater because you could easily turn them off, but you have to almost they are more theatrical experiences.
Right. No, I respect it. I just if I can't figure I've been thinking about trying to watch The Matrix again. I tried to watch it when it first came out and I turned it off because I was like, I cannot
So
follow this whatsoever.
the
And I
when the
stopped.
Matrix came out,
Maybe I
I
should go
loved
back.
the first Matrix. Then the sequel came out, I hated it, and the
They're
third one
very
came out
mixed.
and it was brutal. Didn't even watch the
See,
fourth one.
that's another thing.
Went
They're
back to
mixed.
watch the original and I didn't like the original anymore. It didn't age
Ah,
well for me.
okay.
Um, but at the time, it was definitely something worth checking out. I mean, you almost can love it and hate it for introducing bullet time because then bullet time was everywhere, where it would slow down and people would be like moving in these weird things, and you'd see like whether it be like a bullet where the name came from, or an arrow, or a knife, or whatever. It was in video games like the Max Payne games. I think you went into bullet time where you could actually do that to avoid stuff. It just introduced this whole sort of um, gimmick within movies that ended up
Yeah,
becoming a
just like
trope
the
over
that's
time as
true.
well. Yeah,
It did that. I'll give it props, and then it got overused. And then there was the same thing with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which I still never seen. But I know when
yeah,
it came out, they had that style, and they were flying in the air and moving and slow. And then everyone started doing that, and I was like, okay, it's another freaking thing people are into. But I never saw it. Just
that's a
didn't.
great movie
It
too,
just
actually.
didn't interest me. I mean, it isn't. I'm not going to say that I'll never watch them. They're just whatever they were, they just didn't catch my eye. That's all. I can't help it. If something doesn't catch my eye, it just doesn't. And if I get frustrated watching a movie and I can't figure it out, maybe it's on me, but maybe it's on the movie. We just don't know. I think a lot of times people just kind of like go with the flow of it. And but it's like every time I watch a movie that involves time travel, I always have a problem. 99% of the time, I have an issue watching time travel movies. I'm like, well, if this happened here and you're going back, and I don't try to overthink. I'm not an overthinker when I watch a movie. I just sit back and watch it, take it for what it is. Some things happen, and I just take it in. But I'm not one of these people that's trying to decipher everything right all. I don't want to freaking watch movies that way. I just want to kick it and watch it and have my experience.
Get
But
get
it's like, you know, I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. And it's the same thing with like I said, the time travel stuff. Most of the time, there's an issue. Even that movie, The Caller, which I really like, pulls it off almost completely. Almost completely. But there's one little thing I have a question on because I had to watch it for 2011 for when we did that show not too long ago. And The Caller was like, I think my number 11 or
This is the one
12 or
that I
something.
like. The remake. It's a remake of
Yes.
that one. Yeah, and I really
See,
like the remake. Yeah,
and the remake was just full of inconsistencies for me. That's why I couldn't like it. But the Caller, the original, everything made sense except one thing. There was something going on, and I don't know if you remember, but she ends up talking to the woman, and then little girl her is there. The version of the little girl that of the grown woman is there, and she burns her. The old lady burns her, but of
yeah.
course in the past she's younger. Okay, I get that. And then she runs off. And I didn't examine it too much and start saying, well, why is this old woman with this little girl by themselves? I didn't. That would be nitpicking. That's not a nitpick. I just rode with it. But then later on in the movie, towards the end, the little girl is with that woman again. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Why would the parents allow this little girl to be with this woman after she burned her the first time? And why would this little girl go back with her unsupervised, this young girl? That doesn't make any sense to me. And
Was
that
it a
was the knock
physical
on The
burn?
Caller.
Because I didn't see the caller. I've only seen the call, which I think
Are
they.
you?
Yeah, I
Wow,
think.
you got to see
Well,
The
I didn't realize
Caller.
it was a remake until I started talking about that movie.
Right.
That year, they're like, "Oh yeah, it was a remake of the caller." I'm like, "Oh okay, well I'm happy with this, so be it." But yeah, I haven't gone back. I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one that like no differently than when I ended up watching The Uninvited, that I find out like because I didn't research it, I just watched it and enjoyed it. That someone told me,
Right.
"Oh yeah, that's a remake of A Tale of Two
Tale of Two
Sisters."
Sisters. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I didn't know
It's funny
because I
because I
did
did
end
the
up seeing the
opposite.
original. I did see the original, and it's great too. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it was weird because I had no clue because again, maybe it wasn't widely publicized, or maybe it was, and I just happened to miss it. Like I'm not totally observant that I notice everything. I've just watched a
I
movie
know,
that
I
I've
know.
watched so many fucking times, a comedy for the other show, Pretty Bad Movie Gab, that I just noticed one little bit that I'm like, how did I never notice that before? Uh, it's
Yeah.
like it was just a moment in the movie. I might as well talk about it now since I'm talking about it, but where it's a gag where one of the guys tries to escape from where they are by dressing as a milkman. And then when he gets captured, he runs out, and then all 12 of the other ones are dressed as milkmen as well, trying to do the same plan. It's a comedy, of course. And they're all dressed up and like, this is ridiculous. Whatever. One of them is a hammer. I can't get into the specifics of why one of the characters is a legitimate hammer, but one of the characters is a hammer. There's not a lot of screen time for this hammer, but the hammer is dressed up like a milkman too. It's just Mr. T's holding it, and it's dressed up as a milkman outfit, the hammer. Yep. I've never noticed it before, but because they're
Wow.
all together, all dressed up as milkmen, that this hammer's dressed up like that too, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Wow. That's cool. Not
And stupid, but
I don't.
stupid. If you saw
Well,
the movie,
whatever.
you have to see
Well,
the movie to understand it. And if you're
Right.
interested in seeing them, if you've never seen the movie Freaked before, Alex Winter, Tom Stern's Freaked, I love it. It's one of my favorite comedies. It's a live action cartoon. It is free on YouTube.
Oh, it's a
Free.
cartoon.
No, it's not a cartoon. It's like a live
Oh, it's
action.
a live action cartoon. I thought you just said
Yeah, live action.
cartoon. You said
Yeah,
it's a live action
action.
cartoon.
Live action means
Right, but you did say the word cartoon. Yes or no?
yeah. It's like
Okay,
a
that's
live
all I wanna
action
know.
cartoon, is what I said.
Okay, I got. Oh, okay. Well, here's what's fucking crazy. Look at this. I've never seen Freaked, right? And I didn't do this. I got to show you this. I'm on YouTube constantly now, and when I go to my history, this movie popped up, and I did not touch it. I don't know how it came up. Hold on.
I know why.
This is okay. No, hold on a
I-
minute though.
I'll tell you. I know the answer.
Okay, just hold on. Oh, because it was you
Yeah,
on
I
the account.
didn't realize.
'Cause you
I
usually
went
don't
in.
use
I
it.
went in to
and I-
upload. I went in to upload an episode or to get the episode ready that will be releasing this week, and then I went on to watch Freaked, and then I realized
Okay.
it was on. I was in the Exploding Heads horror movie
Okay.
podcast page.
There you go. It's the only YouTube
I'm
I
like,
have,
oops,
so I'm like,
oops, shit.
so that's why here I am bugging out. I'm like, I know I didn't put this thing in here. Why? I don't want to see anything about freaks anyway. Why is this here? What's going on?
Sorry, man.
I know I didn't click on it. No, now I know why. It wasn't some otherworldly thing that
Yeah.
happened. I was just like, how did this happen? Oh, that's so if you didn't bring that up, I never would have known. It would have
Yeah.
been a mystery. I
For
just would've
anybody
always
that's
been
not
wondering.
filling in the gaps, Dave has the Exploding Heads horror movie page. That's his YouTube channel. But of course, that's because that's where we put all the episodes that are on that eventually go to YouTube. I log in to upload them and or turn them from unlisted when they were Patreon exclusives to when they go out for everybody. And I was going out to fix that all out. And I guess I didn't go back to my YouTube page, and I watched the whole movie on Dave's YouTube.
You should continue to use the Exploding Heads one because I have it's ad free. So you can watch stuff without
Yes. Hey, why
use it all
yeah.
you want. Why use the other one? That's crazy. The way
Exactly.
the ads are nowadays, oh F you.
Oh.
They're terrible. Terrible. My gosh, there's so many.
Depending
Oh.
on what you're doing, because that maybe explains. I was about to use Freaked as the example, forgetting I watched it on that channel. But it's an
Yeah, but I get
hour
what you're
and
saying.
20 minutes. It's an hour and 20 minutes in, out, done. That's including beginning and end credits. I mean, unless you do not like slapstick, goofy comedy, I can't imagine you not laughing or enjoying the movie. I laughed so many fucking times. And I've seen this movie so many times already that I just can't believe how
Wow.
many laughs still hold up. But it's silly. But it's also because
Yeah,
Screaming
hey.
Mad George did the effects. So I remember this. There's a little write up
Oh,
on this in
cool.
Fangoria or Gorzo. That's how I was aware of it. And then when I rented it, I heard it was a comedy, and it was called Hideous Mutant Freaks at first, and then they changed it to Freaked. So just Freaked.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's got a fun cast. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, I'm sure there are going to be haters out there, but if you just like movies that are fast paced, that the plot is there just to string it along to get enough gags going, but it's what a comedy's supposed to do. You know, when you say like, oh, this comedy was like most modern comedies. Let me finish my thought because I'm jumping all over the place. Most modern comedies, I feel, lose their steam after the first half hour, 45 minutes. And then they want to turn it into a dramatic thing, so it's got some weight to it that we care about these characters
Mm,
and want it to end. But you're a comedy, and you forgot to make me laugh halfway through. I'm like, I want a comedy that makes me laugh throughout, and I think
right, man.
this movie succeeded time and time again. Same with UHF, but again, so if you like UHF and if that's your bag, checked out Freaked. And if you just like comedies, checked out Freaked. But it's not, if you like Meet the Fockers, go fuck yourself.
The Fockers, I like Meet the Parents. Meet the Fockers, it was worth it once because there are some good jokes in it, but it's not on a level at all of freaking,
I can't
not the
stand those
original.
movies. There's
What?
3 of them now. I don't like them.
It's
It's not my, I get
Meet
so
the wow.
frustrated. I get, and again, this is a me thing, but I get so frustrated where it's like everything's easily explainable, or just maybe not easily, but just take a breath and say, yeah, you know what? This is weird, but
Oh, I
I went out
agree.
that window, and it's so forced. And so like every gag is so heavily reliant on that it drives me batty that I can't enjoy the movie. It just is like, just fucking explain yourself. I, it's a me thing. I'm crazy, but I'm just
No, but
saying
I get that way.
that bothers me. Yet the insanity and stupidity of Freaked, I think, is hilarious. So
That's fair. Hey, whatever it is. Listen,
yeah,
now it's your turn. I'm going to run for 90 seconds.
okay, I'm timing you.
Right. 90
Well, now
seconds. You
I
can
could
run.
have talked about Freaked. Here, I'll talk about.
No,
Let
talk
me
about
get
some
some.
more freak stuff. I don't want to hear
Yeah,
about freaks.
he doesn't like freaks. Everybody. Yeah, David. Like so formal. He might not like this movie, although it's all makeup effects. Screaming Mad George, like I said earlier, did it. Man, it's worth your time. Gag upon gag upon gag. I mean, they just throw it all out there. Whatever sticks, it sticks. And I think more stick than not. So check it out. Free on YouTube. So you don't have to search it up. It's because it never got an official Blu-ray release, or it's so out of print and so ridiculous priced that it's difficult to find. My wife Carrie wanted to watch Priscilla, the Sofia Coppola film. My God, I can't speak right now. That was good. It was good. It wasn't great. It was an interesting way to tell the story, but it felt like it was a snapshot of her life. It wasn't. I felt like there could have been way more. It could have been a bit more epic, but I guess it tells the story of her life of when she met Elvis to when she left Elvis. That's it. Worth checking out if you are into that type of thing.
90
Oh, he
seconds.
was bang on. I just went through one of my non-horror what I watched because we're a horror podcast, but hey, it's also what we watch. So it was Priscilla. Did you watch that one?
No, but I want to.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was not. I wasn't as epic as I was expecting it to be, but I think that's maybe what I enjoyed overall.
Good.
So
Right,
giving me
right.
something different from what I was expecting, being a good thing in this case. She's
Who's
adorable.
the
The
actress
girl
in
that
it?
I can't remember her name, Chloe something
Um,
or something else. She's gorgeous in it,
yeah.
uh,
I'm
and it's
gonna look
funny
it up
when
then.
when I came in, my Carrie had already started it, and I was making something in the kitchen. I came in, and when I saw Elvis for the first time, I'm like, well, he's really tall. And she's like, yeah, I don't think Elvis was this tall. So that was the only thing that was weird. And again,
Mm.
nitpicking. The guy did a great job. She did a great job. And it's very interesting that it is really focused on her perspective, of course. Hence the name,
Yeah. Her name is Kaylee something or other. Elvis
Kaylee.
Presley was 6 foot exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
this guy looks like he's like 6'4".
wow. Kaylee Spaney, Spaeny.
Yeah, she does a great job.
Right on, right on. And this guy's name is Jacoby Elordi, the actor. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious. I wonder how tall he is. He's from Australia. How about this? I didn't realize till today.
Wait, Were
And
you
I might be
today's
out of my
year?
mind.
Were you today years old?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
fuck you. Fuck that. But nothing's as worse as nothing is
I
as
just
worse as
Dave was so happy, and I just knocked the fucking wind out of him. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry to the audience, dude, because you were so giddy. You're like, hey, guess what? And just today, and then I just blew it. So I apologize.
no, that's funny. I can't. The worst thing of all, I'm sorry, because it happens on YouTube. People put up pictures on YouTube without instead of videos, just a picture, and they show something now. And I've been seeing a lot of fucking. I'm gonna tell my kids this was.
Oh, dude,
Oh my
I'm right there with you.
I hate it. Fucking hate it. I just respond to them now, even though I promised I wouldn't respond. I just respond. Well, what the hell do I say? It's a copy and paste thing. I just click in and say, I said, why do you lie to your kids? Question mark. That's it. And then if somebody ever asks me, I'm going to say, well, I usually answer a stupid joke with a stupid joke of my own.
Yeah, it's a
You
stupid
know,
question.
right. I hate it. I really do. It's not one bit fucking funny to me. I mean, maybe once or twice it was in the beginning when I saw
So,
it. Or don't even say I'm
before
going
you
to tell my
forget,
kids this.
Because I'm going to make you forget what you said because I derailed
No,
you.
you're
What
not.
were you getting excited about? Okay.
I didn't realize till today. I'm watching this video. Was an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, and I didn't know that Anya Taylor Joy. She's like fucking from the UK or some shit like that. I thought she was an American.
Oh,
when
no,
does
no,
she
no.
ever speak in her native tongue? Ever?
In interviews.
Apparently, this is the first interview I've seen. Which, wait a minute, how can I not? I see an interview for her on the witch. I just forgot about it.
Admittedly, it does throw me off when I come across that as well. I mean, you forget they're actors. That's what they do. But you just assume, like, wait a second here. To talk like a fucking normal person all the time.
Yeah, weird,
all of a
huh?
sudden you're like, cheerio, governor, and everything in an interview. Knock it off. No one likes that.
Yeah. No, she was born in Florida.
Oh, well, maybe she's
check it.
American.
Well, hold up. No, let me tell
She
you.
pulled a Madonna.
She spoke only Spanish until she was 8 years old, when she learned English after moving to London. She is fluent in Spanish and English.
Oh, it's
So
interesting.
there you go. She has a highly notorious Argentine accent. So what do I know? Wow.
I didn't know that either.
And I must have known.
I was today years old. I can't even say it.
There you go. I just forgot about it. It's so funny though, because recently I saw somebody say, oh, what the hell movie was it? Damn it. What's it? Could it have been Suspiria? I don't know. Somebody was talking about Mia Goth somewhere, and they said they praised her for doing such a great accent. And it's the opposite. They thought that she was American, and in Suspiria or whichever movie it was when she was speaking for real, you know what I mean? That is her native tongue. I didn't say anything because I don't care, but I was like, people don't know that this girl's from, that she's not from the States. Either way, they should be more impressed with all the English dialogue she does, all the American talk that she does, especially in X, because she's doing that country drawl kind of thing going on. You know what I mean? But anyway, so there you go. I mean, it could happen to anybody. And yes, I must have known Anya had that, that's her accent, because I literally, it's on the Witch Blu-ray and DVD and 4K. There's an interview with her. And so I'm like, I just probably forgot,
You thought she was just talking in the native tongue that they speak in that movie.
Yeah, off camera.
The
she stays in character.
I just noticed we're coming up to mid-March. When this show hits, it's mid-March. So we're almost a quarter of the way through the year. And as we always state, but I'm going to double down. I actually don't always state this. You always state this. And it's always, Brandon used to say it all the time, like, this year sucks. There's not been a very good horror release yet this year. There hasn't. I know of it. But we have had them in the past. There just hasn't been a lot of them. Even at this point, even though I didn't dig Sick as much as you did, we had Scream 6 and Sick last year already. At least. There was another few that were early, a Pale Blue Eye and a few other ones that came out. I'm not seeing anything yet that is wowing me. I haven't seen anything yet that's wowing me. I think everything's been ho hum, but I've also been at the bottom rung. Like my The Alien Report, The Story of All Neighbors, The Haunting of Rosemary Lane, absolute dreck.
Didn't watch any of them.
Arctic Hollow, Lisa Frankenstein, History of Evil, and Camp Pleasant Lake, which I talked about last show as well. All of these are not. I mean, there are people that are praising Lisa Frankenstein, like I mentioned 2 or shows ago, I believe. I'm not one of them.
Right.
It's probably the most bearable out of those because it's the most mainstream though out of those. But it's that, and I hate to say that, but that I think maybe because it's got a little bit more of that Hollywood polish on it, that maybe that's might make it more enjoyable for some, but it's still not a great movie by any means. And all those other ones are totally passable. Like Destroy All Neighbors is watchable. It's worth one watch, but I never need to see it
I'm
again.
not watching it.
Never,
Well, there
it's
you
not
go.
going
I'm
to make
not
my
watching it.
list. But I know we've got a bunch of movies coming, just like last year. We know Maxine's coming.
Yeah,
know
July
that,
5th.
yeah, and we know
I'll be
that.
there.
Well, we assume based on that little teaser that Saw 11 is coming, and
11.
yeah,
The movie based on Stranger Things.
Saw 11. What did you think I said?
Oh, you said based on something. 11 is coming. I thought you said.
Based on what we saw, based on that teaser we saw 11 is coming.
Oh, Saw 11. Okay.
Yeah.
I just okay. I thought there was
Oh,
gonna be some-
11. The 11.
Yeah.
You thought I said
I thought there was
11.
gonna be a
get it.
movie about 11. Yeah, 11 is coming. I'm like, what? Really? All right. Maybe she is. You know, everybody loves 11.
Christmas. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
I meant coming to the theater.
I know.
Nothing sexual. My God. Again, you're putting me hanging me with Peds again. Lord. Although, hold on a second. To be fair, how old is she now? Stranger Things.
I have no clue. I'll look it up.
Millie
you
Bobby
go.
Brown. I'm already on, man. I'm quick when it
Oh,
comes to
go.
IMDb. Born in 2004. So there you go. February 2004. So she just turned 20.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not a pedo thing to say. Although it is a creepy thing to say to a lot of people, which is something else I noticed when I went on Facebook. And one of the reasons that came off in 10 hours is that they showed a picture of somebody
Leonardo
put up a post.
DiCaprio.
No,
He's the
but
one
I've
that
seen it
always
about
gets, he always gets smoked for this. Yeah, it seems.
I've seen that
Yeah.
about him before, but this one was not. This was Anthony Kiedis and his young girlfriend. And people are
Yeah.
saying, ill, this and that. Now, these girls are in their 20s. You know what I mean? And they're like, ill, this and that. What can they possibly have in common? This and that. Why? And I'm thinking, and I don't weigh in because then they'll attack me. But
Yeah.
I could say it on this show.
Yeah.
What they have in
Sex?
common is he is
Yeah.
sexually attracted to a young girl. And there is nothing wrong with being sexually attracted to people while they're young. Because, like it or not, you, me, him, her, that person, everybody looks better when they're young. I don't give a fuck what you tell me. Nobody looks better in their 40s or 50s and 60s than they do in their 20s. I don't, unless you lost a lot of weight or, you know what I'm saying. In most cases with normal aging, 95% of the time, nobody looks as good as they do when they're in their 20s. Just like me. I wouldn't want to fuck me at this age right now. I have a little too much weight on me. No, seriously. I would not. And if I were single and I can get a 20-something-year-old to fuck me still, I'd be happy.
would.
But
Sorry.
I'm just saying. Well, it's
I wouldn't
true.
want to
I'm not attracted to older people. I'm sorry. Throw me fucking on the fires. Say I'm a terrible person. I'm an
Holy
ageist.
shit.
Even when I'm 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, if I may, I'll say the same thing. I don't want to fuck somebody my age, and I wouldn't want to fuck somebody my age either. Why would you want to fuck me? I'm in my 60s and 70s. That's ridiculous. So it goes both ways. I'm not just saying, oh, women are ugly in their 70s. And I'm not saying anyone's ugly. That's the wrong word, but I'm just saying I'm not attracted to women in their 70s. So therefore, I'm going to say it on the flip side. Nobody should be attracted to me in my 70s. I wouldn't want to fuck me.
So are they saying
Serious.
gross? They must be saying gross on her behalf, then.
Well, then maybe they could understand he's got money and he's famous. Maybe she likes his music, and maybe just maybe he's
And he
like a
could get
person
a
like me.
soup sock on his cock. I can't get like it would just like it will slip off.
There you go. If you can get a nice tube sock on your cock to stay there,
I couldn't say
that
tube sock on your cock 5 times fast.
tube sock on your cock, I won't even try.
You
So, but
barely said it
still,
once fast. I can't even get it out. Yeah.
is that such a terrible thing to say that people are more attracted to people when they're younger than when they're old? Is that really a thing to condemn a fucking other person about? Who gives a fuck? Who cares what people do in the bedroom as long as it's legal, right? You want to talk
Well,
shit about pedophiles? Talk
people
about 'em.
do.
You
People do
look
care.
at this one.
And they
Well,
need to make
don't
sure
make
everybody's aware of it.
okay. Well, don't make fun of somebody because they're gay. Okay. Well, guess what? Because who cares what the fuck who people do in their bedrooms? As long as
Yeah.
they're of legal age and it's consensual, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, I'm 100% for homosexuality,
That's the
but
problem.
I don't want a guy
Yeah.
that's fucking 60 fucking someone who's in their 20s. That's you're just making yourself look like an ass. And I'll get off it because we don't want to get too
Yeah,
deep
no,
into it, but
you're right.
what I
You're right.
noticed.
And everybody weighs in on this, it seems. And whatever. We all have our beliefs. Like, yeah, I think I get it too. Like, I totally see your argument, your argument. I don't disagree with it at all. And I just think, yeah, there's also is it just because it's legal doesn't necessarily make it like cool or whatever. And I can see
Fair,
that too.
fair.
I can see that too.
Yes,
If it's maybe your
I
daughter
agree.
and it's a, guy older than you dating you might be a little, I mean, I would be. So
Well,
I always
yes.
I personalize it in that regard too.
But if it was Anthony Kiedis,
Hey,
if it's
show me the
if,
tube
if
sock,
it
Anthony, and then everything's okay.
if it's the creep next door, if it's a guy next door who's single and fucking 35 because he just got divorced, and my daughter happens to be 20 and he starts going out with her, I'm probably not going to like it. However, I'm going to tell her my thoughts and leave it at that. I'm not going to be going crazy at the guy. If he treats her good, what the fuck do I care? Honestly. But now if it's Anthony Kiedis that wants to hook up with my daughter in her 20s, I'd be like, yeah, if I were you, I'd do the same thing. Fuck, I would do it now to a woman. If Madonna wanted to fuck, how old is Madonna? She still looks good though, so that's a bad idea. That's a bad thing to say because I would
That's a
still just
bad
do it for free. No, I'm just saying. I'm trying to think of someone who
I
isn't
love how
really.
you're doing Madonna the favor right now. It's the best. It's a bad thing to say. I do it for free. Like Madonna can't, because Madonna cannot wait to fuck you.
No, I'm just trying to find an example of someone that's older. It doesn't look good like when they were younger, and I probably wouldn't want to have sex with them, but I would because they're rich and famous, and maybe I could be their, what's the word?
Sugar
They could
daddy?
be my sugar mama.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
That's what
the
I'm saying.
reversal.
Then do it. Like I would have sex with I can't. Okay, here's one. Here is one. Kathleen Turner. Kathleen Turner
Oh,
doesn't
like
look
from
anything.
V.I. Rosharsky?
Whatever it is, she was very hot when she was young and all those things. And now she's put on a lot of weight and she looks older and she's
She also
not
talks
attractive
like
to
she's
me.
drank, like smoked 15
And
cigars and
that's true too. So what I'm saying is
go
I
down
would
on me,
fucking-
Dave.
I
Make
would
me
date
feel
her.
like a woman. Sorry.
I would, knowing that she has the money she has, and that maybe she could be a sugar mama. If I'm single, I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm not gonna condemn the opposite sex for doing the same thing. And you're right, just because it's legal doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying because I don't want to come off, but I am also going to be completely transparent and say that girls in
Do-
their 20s
Do I
look
care
better.
though? If it's legal, I leave it at that. Done. Like, it's
leave
fine.
it at
It's
that.
really none of my business anyway. But if it's not,
Dude,
and whatever, and it's been brought out in some whatever light that so and so's dating so and so, and they were like young. Well, I mean, hey, that Priscilla, supposedly she was very, very young when Elvis met her.
yes, well, and that's people are known to do that.
Yeah.
In the rock
Well,
industry.
in the past too. I mean, my
Yeah.
uncle,
Doesn't make it
my
right.
aunt, like she was 13, but he was 15, and they
Yeah,
lived
so
in
what?
Italy. It was
Okay.
I mean, it was different. Now that seems weird, but it was a 2-year difference, and they both lived in the same community in Italy. We still think about it now, and even their kids are like, oh, it's gross. Like they tease their parents about it too, but they fell in love and they got married a few years later. But I think she was 15 and he was 17 or something like that when they got married. Like, but it wasn't like he was that much. It was like a 30-year-old date. And it was like literally still two teenagers, but like
Right.
from the same town in
Right.
small town in Italy or whatever it was. And so that, yeah, again, I say it, the kids, even their kids to this day still joke about her or make fun of it.
I bet. But the thing
But
is this, nobody looks, people, the older we get, the worse we look. We're the less attractive we are. I don't give a fuck yes, you can love your partner more. That's fine. But to just look at somebody that you don't know at this age and this age, you can't tell me they look better here. It doesn't fucking, the older we get, our hairs fall out, our hairs fucking turn gray, our people fucking, they start getting growths on their body, they got fucking skin tags, they got fucking moles, they
my
got
balls
this,
are
they got
bigger than my
fucking
dick.
discolorations
But
in
that's
their
always been the
fucking
case.
skin, they get liver spots, they get this, they're fucking gross. It's fucking gross. But they don't have that in their 20s when they look good. And if people want to say I'm an asshole, I'm not excluding myself either. I'm going to continue to get grosser and grosser as
Well,
fucking
like
time
you
goes
said,
on.
you don't even want to fuck yourself. I
That's
do
what
want to
I'm
fuck
saying.
myself. That's the difference.
Yeah, now my
I,
stomach's too big. I look at myself in the mirror and I get mad and I got to work harder and I'm you're disgusting. But that's me. And again, I'm not coming down on anybody. I'm not going to say, well, this person's fat. You
no,
should lose
you're,
weight. I'm not
yeah,
going to say that, but I can
no,
look at
you're not.
myself and say, hey, got to fucking lose weight, dude. It's not
Yeah,
attractive.
I get it.
And again, if your wife ever dumps you, you want to look as good as you can for the people your age and younger because you want to hook up with
For
them.
the prostitute that I'm going to be purchasing that afternoon.
There's no fun in prostitution. That's the problem.
Yeah. There's no
You
fun in where
Well,
did
there's
that
nothing.
there's no fun in prostitution.
The fun is when the woman wants to give herself to you.
I hear you.
That is the fun. That it makes you feel good about yourself. It's the male ego. You feel good because you enjoy the act and you enjoy hooking up with somebody else and you enjoy the fact that they want to give themselves to you and that they're horny for you and you're horny for them. That's why I never got into strippers and prostitutes and shit like that. And that's why, again, although they say that it's an act of violence, the idea of rape just never fucking made. I thought, I'm like, well, what good is that? She doesn't fucking want. How are you going to get joy out of that? But it's a sick.
I know it's such a weird thing,
right?
For both sides of it were like from the obviously the predator and ultimately any of these crazy things that are sometimes they're glorified in film, but typically like women that want rape fantasies or men that want rape fantasies or whatever. I never understood that either.
That's not my fantasy. But I'm not really a fetish kind of guy. I'm not into fucking feet. I'm not into that. I'm not into fat people. I'm not into this, that, the other. You know what I mean? It's just, don't get me wrong.
You don't want like a pinky toe in your ass?
If she was really hot and she wanted to, and it was part of the deal.
How do you get a
by all
pinky toe
means.
in your ass? That would be like the worst toe. Like
That'd be
maybe the
hard.
big toe. The big toe would be like, yeah.
Do I want it? No, but if that was part of the deal to hook up with someone really hot, and they said it's just like I always say about the Midsommar thing.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of women I would let Midsommar me if they said, okay, you got to eat this and you got to drink this, and then I'll let you have sex with me. I'd be like, okay,
Midsommar me.
do it. Lots of women can Midsommar me if I'm single. I mean, not now, but still. Anyway. Holy cow, what's
I know. What have we got? You got to talk about a couple of movies because I've already somehow slipped two in. Freaked and Priscilla.
Huh. Okay. What have I been watching? Lots of shit. I did. I'll get to that when I get to it. Oh, I wanted to tell you something. Remember you said something about a double burn, somebody being burned twice? And what would happen?
Like if you
could reverse it?
burnt, and then you
Again,
you
right.
burn yourself normal.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why it doesn't work. Because that's what happened to Cropsey. He got double burned.
He got double burned, yeah.
Yep.
But maybe if they ever do the burning too, he'll be like,
yeah, he comes back normal. Well, I got burned again. I've been cured. Why am I want to kill? I don't know.
Yeah,
I just still
that
do.
axe in the face didn't help, but
Holy cow. So let's see here. Let me go back to my my list here. See what the hell I have watched since last time. because it's been quite a bit. Are they all slashers? No. So yeah, I got to look and see what they are though, with the ones that are slashers, because
Well,
there are quite a bit.
I talked about two non-horror right already. Well, Freaked is not by any means horror, but it's got,
Okay.
monster makeup effects to a small degree.
Okay. Did I watch anything non-horror? I'm sure I have. Let's see here. What have I watched? Let's go back here. I know I've watched non-horror. I can tell you that much. Boy, it's been a lot. I do have a lot to talk about here. Wow. Okay. Hmm. Okay, Funhouse Massacre, Someone Inside Your House I talked about. Okay. So, here's what I watched. I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife. I finally sat
Oh
down and
yeah.
watched Ghostbusters Afterlife.
What'd you think?
And it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
I gave it 4 stars. Whatever. I'm not over the moon with it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Same thing.
Did what it was.
Same.
Yeah.
It worked. I don't
Good
know if I ever have
story.
to watch it again. Whereas I'll go back and watch the original again.
Well,
Like
the
I always
original.
find the
Certainly.
original one's the original part two, which I liked more than you. I watch part two. I'll
Yeah.
watch it infrequently, but I don't have to put it on all the time. And then falls in that same sort of area. And then there's a new one coming out this year.
I saw that. They're
Yeah.
doing more. Yeah. Which is fine. And I'm glad I watched it, and it was they did it the right way. They tied the nostalgia in with the modern stuff, and the new kids were cool and all that.
And a little
So it
love
worked.
note to Harold Ramis, who passed
The
away.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So I dug it. I don't have any notes on it, but I did watch it and I liked it. What else did I watch? Okay, but here is the 2024 movie that I did watch, although it's not a cheat because I saw it last year. I got the screener last year. Now it's officially out as of February on Tubi, and it's Life of Bell, the found footage movie.
Yeah.
So
We
which I
brought it
quite
up last
enjoyed.
show, but you rewatched it? Or
yeah,
yeah, nice.
yeah, I rewatched it and I talked about it on Jay the Dead's new horror movies. We did a little because they're watching new horror movies. And I'm not watching any of these movies because I'm not interested.
Well, I
in
want to know what
freaking-
ones they watch because I have a list of what's come out and whatever. And other than Night Swim, I have
They
really
watched
no
that one?
clue what other movies have come out that are worthwhile watching.
Well, I know they talked about Night Swim. I'm sure they talked about Lady Frankenstein. Let's see here. Is that what it's
Lisa
called?
Fr-
Lady Frankenstein?
Lisa, I was the one that
Oh.
called it Lady Frankenstein. And
You
we
called
found
it that?
Yeah, and I kept calling it Lady Frankenstein, and that's a different movie that came out way back when.
That's funny. So let's see. What else have they talked about?
Sorry.
The Collectors, physical media versus streaming, Winter Tide. Winter Tide? This is 2023, so I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, but I don't know what it is. I
There
saw
was some other movie about a shark. Maybe not about a shark. It had to do with underwater though. That wasn't Night Swim that came out recently. They talked about that one. I said I'm not gonna. I had no interest in it. What the hell was it called? You don't know either? Shit.
No, it's fine. It's whatever. We'll
Yeah,
get-
yeah. Well, it's funny because I was on the list of I was on this Letterbox list looking at 2024 releases and trying to see what's come out, what hasn't come out, and everything. But Life of Bell, if you like found footage, watch the movie now. Watch the movie.
I will
it's
check
on
it out.
Tubi.
Hey, did you
So-
see that new thing about Tubi, by the way? Which had been debunked almost immediately. So then some people were saying that they're cutting their content, kind of like
I don't
I
get it.
I'd compare it based on what I read. Again, I'm reading something that could be totally fucking made up, so I don't know. But ultimately, that they're cutting movies kind of like what I remember Blockbuster doing back in the day. That Blockbuster being a family, a Christian-run organization, was they would
Right.
have typically never have an unrated version of a movie unless they were
Uh-huh.
unaware that they carried it. But if there was the option of R or unrated, they would always go for the R. And sometimes they supposedly cut the film further to abide by their rules, is what I remember reading a legitimate piece about. But of course, I could never prove it. I never knew if that was legit or not. But I remember a write up in the newspaper about Blockbuster censoring movies beyond like the film
Right.
and whatnot. And so where I'm going with this is this Tubi article came out and said, beware, some Tubi movies have been censored, and unbeknownst to the
Right.
filmmakers or whatever. But then someone else debunked it almost immediately, saying, no, there's a handful that were already edited for another platform because of their beliefs, and Tubi took those films on, not necessarily knowing that
Okay.
they've been censored. Now, I might not have all the details, and maybe more will come out, but I can't imagine this because everybody listening that's watched Tubi knows that there's no way they're censoring stuff because they're showing everything uncut, nudity, gore, the whole enchilada.
That I
And
can see, yeah. So
I can't imagine what could be cut.
maybe time will tell, but it doesn't seem like it's real, but it won't surprise me if it is either. So I don't know. We're gonna find out. There's there's strong talks on both sides about it. So I
Yeah.
don't know. The one guy was the guy that's, what do you call it? Henderson, who works for used to work for Vinegar Syndrome and works for
Yeah.
what do you call it now? Terror Vision now. So he says he has it. He knows more about it, and he says that it is happening. But then someone else came out and said that they know
Yeah.
their relative works for Tubi or something.
Until
and they know, and
TerraVision
then-
releases their own streaming service next week, and that was the whole reason why he
Imagine
fucking
that.
put it out there. I'm
So here's a
totally
movie.
joking. I have no clue. I'm just saying.
Imaginary is a movie that just came out, 2024.
Yes. Yes.
Which I'm not going to watch because I have 8 people that I know have seen it. The highest rating is 2.5. And
It
that's
seems like
horror films.
it's like a Megan reboot.
Oh, is it?
Or not like
Okay.
reboot, like something similar. It's like I could be wrong, but because I haven't watched the trailer for it. But it's like
Chauncey.
it's like a little bear, right? And it's someone's little childhood bear, and I guess whether it goes on a killing spree or if it's AI driven, I don't know. I don't know anything
Yeah,
about
he's
it.
meet Chauncey. He's not imaginary and he's not your friend. When Jessica moves back in her childhood home with her family, her youngest stepdaughter, Alice, develops an eerie attachment to a stuffed bear named Chauncey she finds in the basement. Alice starts playing games with Chauncey that begin playful and increasingly sinister. As Alice's behavior becomes more and more concerning, Jessica intervenes only to realize Chauncey is much more than the stuffed toy she believes him to be. See that name Chauncey? Since the first time I heard it, I've always thought of it that way, of an Englishman. My name is Chauncey.
Yeah.
Is that me or no?
No,
Does that
it sounds
like,
pompous. Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like
but here's the funny thing.
I'm Chauncey.
Right, but there's a lot of black guys named
Mutual.
Chauncey. There's a
Yeah.
lot of black guys named Chauncey. So every time I see that name, I always say it that way. Chauncey. And I think that sounds like an English name. It doesn't sound like an African American name to me. It's
Why in all these movies when they find something sinister, they always start slow, like they play some games and it's always evil and then work their way up to murder? Why can't they just murder right out of the gate? Like it's always like they've got to win the little
You're
girl's
right.
trust, but then that never comes back into play in the story as to why they had to win the girl's trust.
Brother. That is it. That is my issue with formulaic things in movies. Everybody wants everything to be formulaic. The first act, the second act, the third act. It's the same thing with music. Everything wants to see this, and all this order. And it's almost like they get upset if they don't see it. It's like, why do the rules have to state that this has to be this way? Why do we have to have build up? Some people enjoy the arc, some people enjoy this and the character's arc and this and that. But why does it have to be? And I'll tell you why. Because real life doesn't work that way. So if real life doesn't work that way, don't you think sometimes movies would be more believable if it didn't go by a structure? So I'm with you,
Yeah.
man. Why does everything always have to be, oh, now we got to
Or-
wait for the obligatory this or this? It makes movies bad. It makes movies like, oh, well, here we go. I mean, I don't want to see that. I want to be
But
surprised.
sometimes the ones that try to deviate from that don't necessarily do it successfully either. So then they're like, "Ooh, that was a chance and it didn't work. So then we're going to stick with what's familiar." But yeah, they always build up. Like I'm
Yes.
just picturing this little girl in Chauncey having tea time, and then he
Yeah.
drops the cup and it shatters on the floor. And she's like, "Chauncey, what are you doing?" And she runs out of
Right.
the room and whatever. Then you see the bear turn his head and whatever. Like, why not just strangle the girl right then and there? Who's going to blame the bear?
Nobody. You're right.
Nobody. Exactly.
Why is the bear worried about getting
Yeah.
caught?
Yeah.
If
What I
it's
should have done on the
supernatural to begin
airplane
with.
is I should have left and put Chauncey in the middle seat and then just said,
Yes.
"Hey, kid, play with this bear. I'll be right back." And then
Well,
Chauncey
here's a
had
movie that's out. Baghead. There's another Baghead movie. But
Baghead.
I have 3
Oh.
friends that saw it, a 3, a 2, and a 2.5. Yeah, Baghead. Talk to the dead, pay the price. See, but hold on. See, I could tell you by this title, by the poster, it's going to be bad. I'm sorry, people. Come back and see, and you'll see I was
Oh,
right. I
yeah,
could
it's a
tell by
visual.
the
Yeah,
font.
it's really shitty. I love your font analysis
Well, you
now.
could. It's
I'm
true
telling
because
you,
font. It's been this way for years. That font is never
font
on a good movie.
font on credits and in final credits as well could drive me crazy. I hear you. I hear you. Even though no one probably watches the final credits of the video version of this because they're pretty much the exact same thing every episode. I hate the way it moves because I want it to look like a film, even though
Right.
it can't. But it's because you need it to be. There's like one company that does it really well now. Most of these computer generated versions can't mimic it. So there's always like some sort of stutter or something that takes away from the flow to make it look like old school credits. Everything just looks
Right.
video or digital.
Yeah, dude.
Here's
I'm
another non. I'll give you two more non-horrors very quickly.
okay.
Because Freaked and this other one were for the other show. Pretty bad movie bag. Digstown. Digstown is a boxing movie that came out in the early '90s with James Woods and oh my God, Louis Gossett Jr. A lot of fun. It's a con man type scenario movie with a lot of boxing. Definitely
Uh-huh.
worth checking out. If you want to hear more about it, you can listen to the show. Damn it, hasn't come out yet. That
Correct.
episode, it'll be out in a few weeks. And then In the Line of Fire, I already mentioned it. It was the non-horror movie that I put on there. Fuck, what
Mm-hmm.
a well-made movie that is. And
What year was it?
that came out in the
The 80s?
92, no,
Okay. All right.
92, 93, in that
Okay.
area, maybe even 94, within the earlier 90s, with Clint Eastwood and Malkovich. Yeah.
Okay.
And Rene Russo is the female or slash pseudo love interest as
Is it a
well.
cop thing? It
Oh,
sounds like a cop thing.
it's a special agent thing. It's about a guy, these Secret Service that come across this guy that has plans to kill the president. And he
Oh,
was one
okay.
of the Secret Service men that were there the day JFK got killed, assassinated. And so it's
Oh,
kind
it's a
of like,
period
I
piece.
think trying to, well, no, but it takes place in the 90s. So that it's because he's older now.
Okay.
So he wants to
Got
be
it.
assigned to the president to protect him. And I guess to kind of like be a cathartic experience of not letting it happen again. That's
Okay.
sort of the premise. Very well done. No one really talks about it, even though it's a high. I'm not gonna say no one talks about it, but I mean not anymore. Because when you talk Clint Eastwood, you're usually talking The Unforgiven or the early westerns that he's done, or the Dirty Harry movies, right? And then some of the other, he's directed a bunch of great movies in the last. This was a Wolfgang Peterson
Yeah.
film. He had a couple of great hits as well. Can't think of
Sounds
them off the top
familiar.
of my head, but he's had some. Wolfgang Peterson has done some heavy hitters.
Okay.
And I'm trying to say his name over and over again to try to remember it. I can't off the top of my head, but definitely worth checking out. That was on Netflix or Prime, one of the two.
He did The Boat. Das Boot, right?
Yeah, Das
Wolfgang
Boot. But then
Peterson?
and then that was his big foreign film that I think got the attention of American audiences as well. And then he made the transition to Hollywood. And then there's I think like
Air
4
Force One?
Air Force One. Yeah, exactly. All like high caliber.
Outbreak?
Yeah, Outbreak's great.
Enemy Mine? Enemy Mine?
Yeah, that's Dennis Quaid and I think Louis Gossett. Maybe is Louis Gossett Jr.
Yep. I never
Yeah.
saw it, but I know that. If I remember, I
Yeah.
remember the cover of the VHS. With,
Yeah,
yeah. Uh-huh. There was like two faces, and one of them was
Yeah.
an alien face or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to
So
like
yeah,
that
he's
movie
done
as a
some.
kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Das Boot.
Das
Oh, the never ending
Boot.
story. He did the never ending story.
And that's probably why I know his name too. Although I'm not as big of
Yeah.
a fan as a lot of people are in that movie. That movie and Time Bandits, I owe both a rewatch.
Oh, I missed that.
I owe
movie.
both a rewatch, but I bet I'm not going to like either of them.
I loved it when I was a kid, Time Bandits, and I haven't
Yeah.
seen it since. And Never Ending Story, I always just liked but never loved. Have you ever heard of the pirate movie?
Yes, I have heard of it, but I don't know if I've ever watched it.
Okay, I used to watch it on HBO in the 80s a lot, and I want to see it again. I was watching because you were talking about that girl. Who the hell was it? Oh, Empty Nest. And I just watched this thing the other day of what happened to Christy McNichol and was talking about her career. And she was in that movie. She was in this and she was in Empty Nest. And then she was, what's the movie I just said? The Pirate
The pirate
movie.
movie. Yeah.
She was in that with Christopher Atkins, I believe. And I used to always watch it in the 80s. And it's like been erased. You can't see it ever. So I'm trying to get it added to the MB and watch it, but it's not on any streaming services. But either way, I lumped that in with like Time Bandits and some other ones that I just used to watch on HBO.
Well,
Anytime
and I
I'd see them on
remember,
HBO,
yeah,
I would just watch them, you know?
I'd watched them too, not to that degree. I think I've seen the Never Ending Story maybe thrice.
Me
I
too. Not a
love
lot.
saying thrice. And then Time Bandits,
too.
probably that too. But it just had
Yeah.
some sort of memory on me from my childhood, but not like to the extent of like a Cloak and Dagger that I talked about on the show, or or
Right.
the Goonies, or any of the other usual suspect films that we always sort of bring up. But
hmm
shoot me some more
Yeah.
movies, man. Some ones that
Yeah.
you
So
watched.
let me get on
Rest-
my slashers.
My other
Let's
four are
see here.
my other four are horror. Two of them are slasher.
Yeah, I got a bunch of slashers here. Hold on, let's see here. I have to go back because I left off the last time. There was one more I had to do. Edge of the Axe. I saw Edge of the Axe.
Yeah, man. I saw that for the first time like a few years ago when it came out on either Arrow or Shudder, one of those streaming
That's
services.
when
'cause I
everybody
had-
saw it.
Yeah, and I remember the cover though. Like it's not like I never saw
Yeah,
this cover
that
before,
white mask.
but
Right.
I never saw it. I never rented it or whatever it may be. I was not until then, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to rewatching it for the Year of the Slashers too.
Yeah, I liked it. Here's the thing. You couldn't get it for years. It was one of those lost slashers, and it didn't have a release of anything. So actually, right about the time we started this podcast, I remember I ordered from this guy that I used to deal with like in the early 2000s, and he was still doing stuff, Stumpy's Discs, and
Not
he
Midnight
had things
Video.
pressed.
Midnight
Not
Video is the
Midnight
one at the
Video.
back
Remember
of
that?
the Fangoria. I
Yeah.
ordered from them. Yeah, man.
Well, this guy had burned things from VHS, and that's where I got House with the Laughing Windows. That's where I got this one. That's where I got, and then something came. Oh, what's that movie? Witch Trap was another one.
Oh yeah,
and then
Tenny, the guy that did Witchboard
Witch
and
Board.
Night of the
right,
Demons directed Witch Trap.
right, and it was almost like a follow up to Witch
Yeah,
Board. It was weird. 'cause they had
unofficial
some of the same
sequel.
people
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that one, there was like 5-6 movies that I ordered that at the time had no release. So I got them. They were VHS rips on disc, and this was one of them because it was kind of a regarded slasher, and I hadn't seen it. I was like, okay, so I was just snooping around, and I was like, okay, I'll get this. So I got it, and I watched like the first 15-20 minutes, and then something happened, and I didn't go back to it, and I don't know what it was, but I remember the infamous beginning is great because there's a car wash scene and a great kill in a car wash, which when do you see that? Someone's going through a car wash and somebody comes up with an axe. So, but it's interesting. It's just a couple people. There's like these brothers, and they go. I think they're brothers. Either way, I can't see because
They're
I
Mexican.
wanted to.
It's Mexican, isn't it? Even though
Yeah,
isn't
but
it a
nobody's
Mexican
Mexican
slasher?
in the
I know.
movie. Yeah. It's
See,
basically they're trying to figure out who this killer is that's going around killing a few people with an axe, and there are these two guys, and they go to this place, and the guy runs the store, and there's two girls there. One's younger and one's older, and they're the daughter of the guy that owns it, I think. Maybe one is. See, my memory's hazy because it was one that I watched that I should have done last show, but we ran out of time. So I'm not 100% on it, but I just have my notes. And if I just read my notes, you're not going this should be a fun game, actually. I'm just going to read my notes for kicks. Okay, here you go. Edge of the
I have
Axe.
to guess the movie. Oh wait, okay. Well, not Edge of the Axe. I got it.
Okay. Great open car wash. Goes after pigs. LOL. He does go after pigs. Doc, don't go looking for trouble. That's what I wrote. You think it's easy being a monster? ? See, that was something that was said in the movie, and I kept it in the back of my head. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
You might be the killer. So, there's a cool mask. The axe murderer looks real on the girl. Maybe the cop is the killer. Always deflecting. Hey, where Oh, oh yeah. Hey, where were you yesterday? Song, LOL. There was this song, and
This
it's
doesn't
it's
suck.
in the final credits, and it's because there's a mystery going on. There's that's a song in the movie that was made for the movie. It was, hey, where were you yesterday? Or something like that. It
Yeah,
was like trying to figure out where the
I
killer was. So,
fucking love when movies do that, and a lot of 80s movies do that.
yeah,
Like
I love
it,
it.
it was
It's great.
like almost it's almost a trope that no one talks about, that there's a song that plays it. I mean, the guys between uh South Park, they rip on this. They put it in their movies a lot, whether it
I
be
love it. Yeah.
basketball or Team America, where police, like, there's songs that directly like talk about the plot or fuel the plot, because that was a trope from the 80s that, like, not
Hmm.
many people picked up on, but when you go back to some of these movies, it's hilarious to see.
Oh, I love it. I love those things. But see, okay. This is the last couple notes. Excuse me. Kills dogs too. Uh, looks like I'm right, but why was he wearing gloves? Question mark. So, but here I didn't add this. There's a computer in this
Oh
movie, and
yes, I
it's
remember that. Yeah.
too advanced for what the time was. But that stuff doesn't bother me. I always kind of like it when they do that. But somebody has a computer and they're trying to find out you know, the killer. And this guy befriends the young girl, and they both try to figure things out together, and they can chat with each other like directly. And there's some interesting stuff going on in that respect. But the kills are fine. They're axe kills, and some look better than others, but it's fine. You know, it's a murder mystery, so it doesn't get boring. It's fine. Ultimately, that ends up being for me uh probably a half head or maybe a mild rumble. I don't know, whichever that. It's a 6.5. I'll just make it
Yeah,
easy.
I think that's the mild rumble. A mild rumble. 7, I think, starts the half head.
Okay, so that's it's a mild. I even have it in the phone, and I think I just sent it again to you recently,
Yeah, you
and I
sent it
still
to me
can't
last
remember.
show.
Okay, so there you go.
I get
So
a
that's that
sneeze.
one. That was the longest freaking. Yeah, there it is. 6.75 mild rumble. Yeah, they start at 7 half heads. Okay, so mild rumble. Um, Oh, what the hell are we talking about? How about House 3 is actually going to count? Pardon me. Horror show is going to count as it should.
Yeah, I like that.
And because I
Makes
told
sense.
you. Yeah, because here's the story. This is what it says here. I sent it to you. It says after the horror show bombed in the US. So it already came out as a horror show and then it bombed. Okay? It was marketed as the horror show. After the horror show bombed in the US, Sean Cunningham changed the title to House 3 for the overseas markets. Foreign markets also got a meatier version. The MPAA's Butchery didn't follow the film across the water. Under either title, the film is worth watching. Okay, well, we don't. The bottom line is that after it failed, then for overseas market, because that's what I used to say in the early days of my podcasting. I go, no, it's only called House 3 overseas. And that's the truth. And then everybody started calling it House 3 because I want to say Arrow, who is an overseas company, marketed it on their box set.
Yeah.
So don't be freaking misled by marketing stuff. This movie was called The Horror Show, had nothing to do with House, but it just happens sometimes. Overseas marketing sometimes changes the title. So,
Well,
and there you go.
there was. I also remember I was telling you that I was in Winnipeg this past week, and I was in a bookstore waiting to go into an appointment. This bookstore is fantastic. It has every horror
Oh, yeah.
magazine that I think exists today. I mean, I'm slightly exaggerating. It doesn't have everything, but it had like Scream,
Wow.
which is the world's biggest horror magazine. It had Rue Morgue. It had Horror Hound, and I haven't seen Fangoria in a Canadian store since the like the new Fangoria. Like, of course,
It's
back in the day,
subscription only.
Fangoria,
It's
it was
subscription only.
there,
That's why.
but it was in
Oh,
the
guess
store. It
I'm
was there
wrong.
to buy.
Oh,
24.99, $25 plus tax.
F
I'm like,
you.
I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it, even though I don't have a
See,
new. So I flipped through it big. It's thicker. It's nice. It looked like there's a couple decent articles, because I told you they have one called Slasher Nation, which fits this our show theme and everything. To be or not to be a slasher, specifically focused on Alien and the Terminator. Why they left Predator out of this, I don't know if this is a recurring article, since I haven't read a new Fangoria. So if this is a reoccurring like section that they pick a different movie that could be deemed or considered a slasher, I don't know. But Predator, I would say even more so than the Terminator, in a sense. Even though it has a more
Yeah.
actiony beginning, because then it's literally them being stalked one by one in the woods by an unseen killer. Like, I mean, it is. But Alien and Terminator are the ones they focused on here. I skim read it, took a few pictures, and ultimately said, yes, there's enough that they borrow from, directly take from the slasher subgenre, that you could easily consider these slashers if you wanted to. I'm just happy that all three that I just mentioned, the two that are in that article in Predator, are from franchises, so we could just exclude them
Eliminate 'em
altogether
anyway.
from,
Yeah.
from our show.
Doesn't matter.
Because they're franchise films anyway. But ultimately, that's the short of it. Of course, there's, but I just couldn't believe $25 to buy
Well, there
it.
you go. I wanted to weigh in on that for sure. First, I wanted to say that Jay of the Dead absolutely considers Terminator a slasher. And I meet him halfway because I say the final chase scene to me looks like a final chase scene in a slasher. But the rest of the stuff to me doesn't really. But either way, some people do. Jay, I know
Well,
he loves
they
that
both have
movie
final
with as a
girls.
slasher.
Alien and Terminator,
yeah.
whereas Predator has final guy. I mean, I know the girl
Right.
survives too, but the battle is against old Arnie.
I just don't
So-
consider an alien a slasher the same way I wouldn't consider. It's just like otherwise you could say every movie where every monster kills people in the woods a slasher. There's a lot of movies about monsters killing people in the woods, don't you think? They're not
Oh, yeah.
slashers. Why should this be? You know what I mean? Just because it's I don't know. I don't get that. But whatever. Now back to the $25. This is what really irks me is that print media is a dying thing. Much like, and I know people don't want to hear it, but much like physical media is a dying thing for movies. Okay. And they're overcharging. They're overcharging the few people they have that are interested in it. They're trying to rape them, where they should be doing the opposite. Usually, when something is dying, when people are more and more people are losing interest, the price is cut, not raised. And I could understand if it was like a $15. To me, that's a nice conservative. Okay, 10 would be better, but okay, inflation, everything. $15, $25 for any magazine. I'm sorry, no.
Well,
It's a media that not a lot of people are into. You're not doing yourself favors because you're going just for the big fish. And I understand, but I just can't see that there's enough biting. I just don't.
I would, the only argument I can make towards it is I get print is expensive, and when you print in color, it's more, and then there's
Yes.
import factor in here too. The magazine's gone quarterly, so if they're releasing this 4 times a year, it's about $100, which was about the subscription for the 10 magazine subscription back in the day. That's roughly the same price point. And these
Fair.
magazines, well, I'll give this magazine is it's probably double thick, but you're not
Right.
getting double the introduction, double the everything. It's just that all those features are still just single, but the actual substance of it seems to be maybe double the width of a typical older Fangoria. So I guess there's some merit there. Just the fact that I haven't physically seen one, I almost feel like I should have grabbed it. I'm almost mad I didn't, but I couldn't justify $25. So
No, dude. Wait, it's too much. It's just it is too much. And how many pages in that book are advertisements? You know?
oh yeah, I don't know. This is a better example of it. So this is Rue Morgue 105. But again, I'm
That's a
sorry
thick
guys for
one?
listening to it. It's a visual. It's pretty damn thick.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I don't know if the Fangoria was that thick, but it was close to that.
Okay, and
That's
how much
pretty
is
damn
that?
thick. Well, this was old though. This was only
Oh.
this was $9.95, whether you bought it in Canada or the United States, but this was in 2010. This came out 2010.
Okay. Maybe now it'll be 15, I think is fair.
Well, I don't know. It's 24 years later. Maybe this would be $25, but that is
No, it's 15 years later.
Oh, yeah. What did I
14.
say? 14 years
You
later.
said 25 years later.
You know, I meant to
Yeah,
say
that's
maybe
the
it'd be
difference.
$25 is what I meant to say.
Okay, I figure $1 a year is fine for inflation for print media, for a magazine. I don't know, maybe I'm way off. What does it cost to go buy a magazine now, like a Playboy or something? You know what I mean? How much are they? I don't freaking know. When am I buying a magazine?
Is Playboy still
So
around anymore? I don't even know.
I don't know,
I
buddy.
assume
I don't
so.
know.
I assume so, but anyway, yeah, it was just interesting, and they had like a couple of cool books. The Art of the Zombie Movie by Lisa Morton, that kind of looked interesting. It's like, again, it's taking the idea that I said is like, people love VHS so much, why not just make a book of VHS art?
Yeah,
Like, it would be popular because
right.
people love it. They love having it. I love the tangible fact they're talking about physical media. I
Are
do
we
love these. I'm
allowed
a
to?
sucker for them. Well, I believe you are, because you, like, from a licensing standpoint, you just have to look at whatever the legalities were. Well, the Art of the Zombie Movie would be a perfect look. You just look into it and figure out how they credit the pictures, because ultimately all they're doing is they're taking the shots of the Reanimator poster, Return of the Living Dead, and then whatever,
Hmm.
maybe lobby cards or stills. But it's really interesting about the art, because the art was more about the cover art of the
Hell
of
yeah.
the zombie movie or whatever. That book looked really cool too. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because, yeah, I hadn't seen Fangoria in a store in forever, forever.
Yeah, I thought you couldn't. I thought it was subscription only. And they even said it won't be on newsstands. So I don't know.
Well,
Maybe they changed because they weren't making enough money. How's that
or
for you?
maybe the store, maybe they subscribe to it and then sell it. I don't know.
It's possible. I don't know. Well, back to Playboy. You can only get it online since 2020. There are no more magazines. There
Uh,
you go. Print media is dying. So you don't how much proof if people
yeah,
don't thumb through a Playboy, you know?
well, that's it.
I mean, I'm sure People magazine and that bullshit's still around. I don't know. I know I see magazines sometimes, maybe in the grocery store, and the
Oh,
off
there's a
chance I
ton of
go anywhere,
magazines. Go to these
you know.
bookstores, like this
So
bookstore I'm talking about, Indigo Chapters. There's the magazine section is huge. Rue Morgue is still doing it. Horror Hound is still doing it.
well, then
I
there you
just don't.
go.
I don't necessarily. I like Rue Morgue. I like both of the magazines, but you get in the weeds because they're $10, fit $13 each now. So they start getting really expensive after a while.
Okay, so here you go. How much does Rue Mag cost? 6 issues per year. It doesn't tell you how much. Oh, how often does it come out? I'm sorry, I hit the wrong thing. So it's hard for me to find a modern price. Okay, September October 2023 Halloween special $13.95. So
Yeah,
just this past September October, there you go. I said $15. It was selling for $13.95. Okay, so who knows? I mean,
yeah.
that sounds fair to me. 25? I don't think so. I'm sorry, it's a dying thing. Stop raping your freaking loyals. They do it with customers. Pardon me. They do it with the physical media people, and they do it with the magazines. And that's why I'm opposed to them. That's why I say on the battle between streaming and physical media, I'm landing in the middle. It's almost like politics. It's like because I see the good and the bad in both. I'm like, okay, what you're doing is wrong, and what you're doing is wrong. I'm glad that I have both options, and I wish it could be more fair. But I'm not spending $40 for a freaking a 4K of Spookies. It
All
ain't
right,
gonna
man.
happen, dude. Stop it.
It's hard for me to justify. I like I told you, I had to take a break because I getting suckered in and getting all these special collectors ones because I wanted them, but at the end of the day, they just announced
Hmm.
a new Texas Chainsaw one. This package is gonna have it's from Dark Skies, I believe. It's gonna have their 4K release in a chainsaw package with all the
Hmm.
supplementary material and a new VHS copy.
Ah, okay.
That's what they're doing now. So
Hmm.
again, see,
That's what
you're
I
like,
want.
okay, okay, okay. Then you heard VHS copy, and you almost kind of lightened up a little bit. But I don't know what the price point would be. But that's going to be
Right.
insane. Uh, and Chris A. Scott sent me that information last night or 2 nights ago, and it was I was like, holy shit! Like, here we go. I thought I had the definitive version, which I do,
Right.
because I mean, I don't know, but to have a VHS copy, it'll be interesting. I bet it'll be some ridiculous price though for that.
Well, see, I know that Pearl came out in 4K overseas, and I didn't get it, and I really should have, because now I looked it up to see what the price was, because I was going to talk about modern ones and how they're not as bad. But oh, here you go. Here, region free. This is the cheapest I've seen it, $37. If you go on freaking eBay, people are selling them for freaking $60, $80 and shit like that.
Well, eBay
So-
is like eBay sucks for the most part. You really got to. Anytime I'm looking for something, I always shop price lowest, including shipping, and then filter from that, and then see if there's anything that actually looks legitimately reasonable. Blow It Out of Here is a shop that's, I think, out of Florida or something like that. I purchased most of my special editions through there if I haven't gotten them direct from Second Sight or from Arrow.
Mhm.
And I got smoked with customs on my last Second Sight order, so that sucked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
So I've gotten
ridiculous.
smoked both times I ordered from Scream Factory and one time from Second Sight.
That sucks. Well, see,
Anyway.
I don't know how much this Pro 4K went for. Like when it came out, maybe I should have bought it, but I think even that price was, I forgot what it was, but I wanted it. And I don't know what the price is, but I know the cheapest I can find it now is $37, and I'm not doing it.
Well,
I'm not
you know,
freaking doing it.
some of these Blu-rays for the newer movies look so damn good. We were talking about this already.
Some
I
do,
get
yeah.
it. I get it. And like Pearl and X, I don't think are going to look like maybe they look
Well,
drastically
Pearl
different.
will. It's
Yeah,
Technicolor.
technicolor,
Don't you
yeah.
remember how that?
True.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Right. That's why. That's why
True.
specifically I want that one. I don't have to have X on 4K. I'm fine with my blue, but I want Pearl. There's only a few titles that I want, and
Wait,
there's reasons for it.
They'll release a
So,
trilogy when Maxine's out. They'll release a box set.
you're right.
So
Yeah, they will.
hold on. They'll
Hopefully-
do some, hopefully
Yeah,
some,
for $80, we'll get raped again.
yeah,
you
but
know?
that's 3 movies then. At
Yeah,
least.
that I don't really need, because I don't need them on all 4K except if I want Pearl.
Oh,
'Cause of the
okay, well then that's
Technicolor.
different. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Not that I wouldn't mind having them. That's fine. So we'll see when the time, if they came out with a real cool thing with a book and everything. Usually I don't want that, but for this trilogy, I
Oh,
think I would.
I've
One of the
got
few.
most
you know?
Tarantino's, whether they be on DVD or Blu-ray, I've got most of them. I was about to start collecting them on 4K because they've got Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, of course. They haven't done Kill Bill yet.
Unfortunately, I'm so pissed.
Yeah, and one of them, Inglourious Bastards, have gotten some mixed reviews, I think. But I'm waiting
Mhm.
because once he releases his, they're going to do a Tarantino box set.
You would think.
Yeah, so
Someday, somebody.
I figure I'm just gonna wait for that.
Wait.
I
Yeah.
already got them on Blu-ray, and they're fine. They're great. Anyway,
Here's what I want to
talk.
know.
Oh, sorry. Talk. I demand you to talk.
Talk. No, I was just thinking of since George Lucas sold the rights with the Star Wars to Disney, theoretically, could Disney release all the original versions of the original trilogy without the changes that Lucas made? Wouldn't they have the rights to those too?
I don't know. I don't know if what was in that deal. Maybe he held on to them. He did do that at one point,
Wow.
and then everybody realized what what the changes meant. They were so in their mind. They're like, "Oh, you fucked with my childhood and your film and everything that was there." And then they realized that these enhancements, I understand maybe in certain oh my God,
Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt, thank you, back in there, and all those extras might throw people off, but you
I
forget
was
that
okay
he
with that,
also
honestly.
he also touched up the color, and the
Mhm.
film print looked dated, and he brought that back to life, and the music cues and soundtrack and the lasers and anything that might have been okay from a effect standpoint in 77 and 79, he updated it to just clean it up. It wasn't necessarily all bad. He just took out the fact that you could see, based on technology getting better, that when a spaceship was going across the star field, that you'd see like that it was like pictures going across almost. It's depending on what you were watching. And that all just got cleaned up. So it was not so overt. And
I don't
yes,
mind that.
he added a lot more. But when you go back to those original ones, you're like, "Ooh, okay,
I love the
Yes.
original ones.
yeah,
Just
well,
the way
we
they
all
are.
did." But I don't have any problem with the newer ones either. I could,
Oh,
like I said,
really? See, I don't.
I could do without all the extra things that were added when they released them in
They're
99.
awkward.
Yeah,
They're awkward because the animation, the type of CG they use, they have like those CG bantas and some other things going on in certain scenes and shit. It doesn't look right. It's like, no, this reminds me of the freaking prequels now. It was the same
yeah.
animation for the CGI they used for the prequels. And I don't want to associate the prequels with the original trilogy, even though I'm okay with them. The original trilogy was beautiful the way it was. If you want to like restore things like,
Well,
enhancements, that's fine. But the thing is, he changed so many damn things and it's awkward. It looks awkward to me, a
well, I
lot
don't
of the
think it.
CGI.
Again, based on what we've read on Disney, I don't think you have to worry about it anyway because they don't want to release anything on physical media from the sounds of it.
Well, then that would be stupid because if they have the rights, so many people are clamoring for the original trilogy the way it was. And for
But
years and years.
the original trilogy, as it was on 4K, seems to defeat the purpose of getting the original trilogy as it was.
I don't care if
Uh,
it's on 4K. I just
yeah,
want it released on at least blue, at least on physical media, besides DVD.
yeah,
Even the DVDs are hard to come by now, but I have it here. I already had them on 4K. They were upscaled original versions that somebody made because that's the only way you can get it. You got to freaking, but I have them here and they look really nice, man. So, and it's Empire stayed the same. They didn't do Empire because Empire had very little messing with it, very little. But Jedi and New Hope, they had a lot of
well,
stuff going
Empire
on,
had
so they
all
took that
that.
out and they fixed
A lot of like when
just
clouds
Cloud
when
City
they
stuff.
yeah
Yeah,
when they got introduced to Cloud City, yeah.
that's it though. Like literally, that's it. There's like that, and there's like one tiny thing in Hoth, and that's it. Which reminds me, Hoth. Did you? Okay, I've been wanting to talk to you about this since December. Um, um, do you ever think about it? Every time I watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I think about Luke Skywalker and Hoth. In that one scene with the freaking big white thing, and they're all tied up. Remember,
Yeah.
they're all there, and then the kid has to, the guy has to come to pretend to be an oink, 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 and does all that stuff. But there's that one scene of freaking the big ice thing in his cave with the prisoners he's about. Every time I watch that movie, I think about freaking Luke and the Empire Strikes Back with the
Yeah.
Wampa.
I don't know if I've always,
Yeah.
but now that you say it, I think I do remember that back in the day, but I don't watch Rudolph as much as you do. Since I
Once
haven't
a
seen
year.
it in like 5 years.
Oh, okay. Once a year. Well, I'm sure other people have. So, but I always compared. And okay, I'll ask
And the
you again
monster
about.
effects of that monster actually, like on Hoth, were redone
Yeah,
as
that's it. There
well.
was a little bit on Hoth in that scene, and there was
Yeah.
something, but that's it. It wasn't enough to justify them spending the money doing everything to make it. So they just made it for. Although some have, it's just that I wasn't about to spend the money. But you can, but it's really not that big a thing. So, Rudolph, back to Rudolph. That guy always kind of creeped me out. And I want to know if I'm the only one. Like he's always creeped me out. And it's the freaking the king, the Lion King of the freaking Misfit toys. The guy that flies in and he has that voice and he talks, "You're welcome to stay here." Did that guy ever creep you out?
Listeners weigh in. I can't remember. I don't believe so, but I'd have to
Okay.
watch it again. But listeners weigh in if he creeped you out because it's been way too long for me to even remember. Like I don't have
Okay.
Rudolph or Frosty really. When I watch it again, I'm like, oh yeah, everything it all comes back to me. I'm like Celine
Okay.
Dion.
Now there's an icon, Celine Dion, and I can't name 5 songs. All coming back to me now, and that not Twilight, that freaking Titanic song.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I don't know anything about that, but to me, she's an icon. But then again, she had a show in Vegas, and so did Britney. So maybe Britney is. So it's just that it just whatever. So okay, and Rudolph. One more thing, the Isle of Misfit Toys. I'm going to ask you what, but it's rhetorical. There's no answer. What is wrong with little Susie the doll?
I don't
She's
even
supposed to
remember.
be a misfit toy, There's absolutely, I defend her every year. There's nothing wrong with her. She doesn't belong there whatsoever. I've inspected her. I've done everything I can. I go,
That
why is she
sounds so bad. I
everybody
bet
else? Well, I pause the movie and I look. I'm like,
I think she has
what
a
is wrong with
murderous
this girl?
she has murderous tendencies. If she was given to like a family, it'd be like that bear in Imaginary. I think it'll have tea time, drop the cup of tea, the girl will run out to go get her mom to clean it up, and then little Susie would just turn her head,
Hmm.
and then it'd be go
So
time.
she's a horror.
Yeah.
Little Susie is actually Talkie Tina, is what you're getting at then.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe, but it's bothered me every year. All the other ones, they have a reason to be there. But this poor girl, this poor cute little doll, has no right being there. And she cries at the end. Oh, I mean, it all works out. But it's just always bothered me that she's there. Everybody else has an issue. This doll, there's nothing wrong with her.
It made me
So,
watch
anyway.
Rudolph again, you son of a. I actually want to watch Empire
Hey.
again. It's been a while, way too long. I used to watch those way more when I was younger. And now just with so much more content and everything else, I just don't watch the Star Wars movies like I used to.
I haven't even watched the last 2 Star Wars shows. The one with I love Rosario
I'm
Dawson's in it, right?
Yeah. I'm very
love
behind.
her.
Yeah.
So I want to watch that. And the other one, what was it called? Andor. I don't like the name, so I didn't watch it. But I think people might like them. But I would still rather watch the movies, all of them, part 1 to part 9, and I don't care what the hell anybody says. I enjoy them all. So, but anyway, back to movies here, other movies, slashers.
Yes.
Yeah. Where the hell am I here? Let's go back to my list here. Oh, okay. Cherry Falls.
Yeah.
Man, I really do enjoy Cherry Falls. I'm not going to tell you if it's going to, well, no, I'm going to have to tell you because I'm going to say it's still a mile rumble, but it's coming so close. And it seems to be like I like it more every time I watch it, but I never put it in that category that I love it or anything like that. But I do think it's kind of overlooked. And I'm just trying to get to my notes here. They're down here somewhere. I've watched so many. Listen to this, dude. Let me tell you how many I've watched. I don't know. Do you know your number for slashers?
In total?
Yeah,
In
right
total,
now.
I've watched 92.
I've watched 70, and I thought I was doing great. That's amazing.
Yeah, but
Wow.
again, remember, I started when I don't think it's not remotely cheating because I started in August, September range,
Right,
and it will be a year. So I feel like it's that calendar year that matters. So like that's when it was the last week of August, I think I started ramping up on slashers. I just started binging them
Mm-hmm.
because I was
Okay,
bored
well,
or it was
that's
like,
good.
summer
I
was
did
ending
not.
and yeah.
I didn't start till this year because I was watching
Yeah.
freaking 2011s. So this is all in the last since January.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah.
think about that. Yeah. And I already have like 30 movies out of the 50 that are rated 7 or higher. So, and I have 180 on the list now. So go look at that list because I spent time on it. I went to different websites and I tried to find more hidden slashers and what was available and what's considered a slasher. And I did all this stuff and now I'm at 180. I don't think it's going to get higher than that. I wanted to shoot for 200, but I'm at 180 right now. It's on that list.
Well, I do like Cherry Falls as well, and I think I'm the
Yeah.
same way. I think I've watched it 3 times, and the first time I
that.
was like, "Oh, hum on it." I think because of the reveal. I put too much pressure on the reveal, and I thought when that was done, I thought it was so haphazardly handled or whatever. The first time I watched it, second time I went in with no expectation, knowing what the outcome was going to be. Enjoyed it more, and the last time I think I enjoyed it the most. So it'll be interesting for me to. I haven't
Yeah.
rewatched it yet for this, but I think
Just
I'm
like
a
me.
mild rumble as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but I really think that I heard that there was a version that kept gore in it, but it's never surfaced. That could put it over the edge, but at this point it's not. But the thing is, it doesn't feel like for the year it came out, it doesn't seem very post screamy to me like the other
Yeah.
ones do. It seems to me like it's just as much like an 80s thing. You know, just like Valentine had that feel. It
Yeah.
was kind of a combination of 90s and 80s. And that's kind of how Cherry Falls feels. And see, that was good. See, the post scream didn't work. It worked for a little bit, and then you had a couple of knockoffs, and then people started doing other things. You know, the sequels were big, you know, Scream and those other ones, but it's like it didn't last very long. And by the time 2000 came around, you would see like direct to video, I think, like, you know, shitty ones that were like trying to ape on Scream. But it seemed like a lot of the other slashers that were coming out weren't doing that anymore. That they were taking the, you know, of course, meta still goes on to this day, and I'm going to talk about that with the next one. But yeah, it doesn't feel overly post screamy. She is a great final girl. She's just a doll, you know. She's a
Yeah.
cute girl, great personality. It's hard not to root
It's
for her. So I
unfortunate
mean, that's
what happened in real life.
I know. I'm gonna watch. I know it's awful. I never knew all the stats of it, the facts, I should say, but I'm gonna watch a documentary. I'm sure there is one. I
Oh
just
yeah,
know
there
that,
is.
you
There is.
know.
Carrie and I watched it a 2 years ago, maybe whenever it came out.
Yeah,
Whenever it came out, we saw it.
I'm curious about it. I definitely want to see more. But you know, it's a good story. It's a good idea. I like the cast of kids. I like how they have that brawl. They had the big meeting about the virgins, and they tell their parents that he's killing virgins, and they're spying. And they get into a big fight and all that. The
It's like
parents
the
and they're,
reverse:
you
have
know,
sex to live.
right. No, it's cool. I like the look of the killer. There's a couple good kills. The kid in the locker gets a good kill. Laura Lee Sherman, like Freddy Krueger. Yeah, it is kind of like a Freddy Krueger thing. It was something that the parents did something and they kept it quiet, right? And they didn't want the kids to know. And that's the same thing. And then this Laura Lee Sherman thing. So it's kind of cool. You have just enough teen drama. It works. Everybody's getting excited for the freaking deflowering party, whatever it was called. The mystery was good. The town's sordid history. And I like how the character, the lead, she flips roles, and then for the wrong reasons though. She wants to all of a sudden come on and go against her type, and all of a sudden now she wants to sleep with her boyfriend when she's waited all these times and wanted to remain a virgin. But it just shows her acting chops. She does good when she goes into that, and it's actually cool that the kid turns her down. All he's wanted to do was freaking bang her all this time. Then she saw she's doing it for like the wrong reasons, and his ego got in the way. But it's good. He's like, I want you to do this because you want to do it with me, not because, you know. So it's weird to see a
I wish
teenager do
I was
that.
that strong-willed back in the day.
Oh, forget about it. I mean, it's maybe not very likely, but
Yeah.
yeah, forget about
Let's get
it.
this
It could have
done
been
now.
freaking. It could have been the female freaking version of Adolf Hitler. If she was hot and wanted to have sex with me, I would have done it. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, I've had sex with people I've hated.
Yeah, I may have
do it
not
again.
done that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like we were saying before. What do these people have in common? Nothing. I'm physically attracted to you.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to have sex with you. I don't care what you say, what you do, what you stand for. This. It's one of the reasons I like bad girls, and it's one of the reasons that I've, you know, some murdering girls. I want to have sex with them too, even though they're evil. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah.
I'm messed up.
A whole other episode, everybody.
Yeah, I don't want to go down that road. People are going to hate me even more. They probably already hate me for what I said earlier, but whatever. I keep it real. So yeah, there's a cool massacre at the end, which boosts it up, but ultimately it's kind of a missed opportunity in some ways. But it just comes so close. But the writing and most of the characters feel real. It's good in that respect. It's not jokey. It seems accurate for the time and for the teenagers and for the characters, just to be that way. And I come close, but it's still a mile rumble. But damn it, it's like one of the biggest missed opportunities for me.
Yeah,
as a
well,
slasher.
like I said, I assume based on my last watch that I had it at that half head, but I would have to check it out again because I do recall it not being gory.
Right.
Well, I'll just have to see how that weighs in on it. What be like? I mean, I still like the Final Girls, and it's not gory, so we'll see. We'll see.
Right on. So how many more you got?
I've got 4. 2 of them are
Okay.
not slashers. 2 of them are slashers. So I could just do the slashers, and
Okay.
then we can end there.
Right on.
I'll name the 4 movies. So I watched Moon Garden because I hadn't watched it last year.
Oh,
I watched The Ruins, which I'd seen before. I rewatched. That's a great movie. If anybody's not seen The Ruins, check it out. Like if you missed it or whatever, check it out. It's definitely worth checking out.
No doubt about it.
And then the two slasher movies that I'm gonna be talking about, I'll just mention the one that now, and then you go, and then I'll mention my next one
Yeah,
after.
we can do 4 more.
Um,
Okay.
So mine is Shredder. I know you like this
Ah,
movie.
finally.
So
Yeah.
I've watched it. I watched it when it came out, and I was not very impressed. Then I kind of watched it again when we did the slasher show, and I still wasn't that gung ho. The trend continues, but this has been my most fun and the most enjoyable it's been, because I just kind of let it go. At
Cool.
least it follows like the fact that you've got the historical problem. You got the group of kids going up to, instead of this being a camp, it's a lodge. I mean, it checks off all the slasher tropes in a good way.
And the kills are
And
good.
the kills are decent. Like, there's some
Yeah.
couple of good ones. You get nudity, which is always welcome, in my opinion. And for our female listeners that like that, you get some male ass.
Word.
But yeah,
Yeah, hot
it
tub.
clicks along. I'm not a fan of the editing style. You could tell it's early 2000s, and flashback stuff
Oh,
is kind of a little weird. Uh, and there's a couple of wacky dialogues if they just took a little bit more time, like when the killer hops on the chairlift with the girl, and every interaction that she has with the killer there seems forced and horrible and poorly written, and like,
hmm,
excuse me, hot pretty girl talking to you. What are you, deaf? Or are you just rude? And all this. It was just
right.
so bad and whatever. But then when she dies, it's funny. But then you're like, how do the other people that are on the chairlift not notice her dead after? Because if anybody knows how a chairlift goes, it's circular. So the only thing I can think of it is like the two are starting to kiss at that time, and to maybe distract that the hanging girl is coming and passing by the other way. But just based on how a chairlift works, unless I'm mistaking it, of it being in a different area, they have to get on the chairlift at the bottom to get up. That's how a chairlift operates. And the girl that was killed uh, obstructs the chairlift at the top. So when it breaks and starts up again, and they get on the chairlift and they're chatting, dead girl would be coming down on the other side, and they would have to pass at some point in time. And yet they don't ever see her until later in the movie.
Is anyone else skiing? I don't think anyone else was skiing. It was just the group that broke in there because the girl something owns it.
Yeah, but
and there's just a group of sick kids there.
she was killed on the chairlift, and then
Mhm.
he gets on. Then that other girl that they said was a girl ghost, he sees him, and he's like the biggest caricature. He's the videographer guy that talks like he's like a stoner surfer dude that only that he's not even really a shredder. He's a filmmaker that likes to snowboard. And it's like, it's
Mm.
really kind of cool, because I do remember, not in 2001, I'm going back to like 93, 94, that there was this, when snowboarding was becoming very popular, and it just seemed to be a conflict of interest that you were either a snowboarder or a skier. And snowboarders were against the rules, and skiers were like, it was like, this is how you
Right.
handle it. So
I could
they
buy
play
that.
on that.
Yeah.
They actually play on that in this movie. So it's good.
Mhm.
It's like, it's not insulting, but if you're expecting something new, you're not going to get it here. There's a couple of good gores. There's some blood. The way the killer gets it at the end is great. And so it's worth your time. But again, it's more of a mild rumble, because I think it's at the 6.5 range now. But it's the most I've
Okay.
ever enjoyed it.
Nice. No, I can accept that. And I'm not over the moon for it. It's just, I like it a little more than that. But it just seems to me like it's kind of overlooked. And
Yeah.
people may be lumping in with, post Scream stuff. But
Oh, it's
I don't know.
it's fucking heads and tails better than Iced.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
not even close. No, you're right there. Iced is not good. Not good at all. Okay, so here's my next one. And I just mentioned it earlier. I said the line, the title of the movie. You might be the killer. You might be the killer. So
So yeah, that's a slasher.
it is a slasher, and I will tell you that I enjoyed it more upon this viewing than I have before.
Oh,
Uh,
you were higher than this. If you remember, I had a stick in my ass the first time I watched it. Enjoyed it way more when you and I reviewed it. Maybe Brandon was still on the show at the time, because it was back a ways, but we did an official review of it. And I
yeah,
liked it
didn't
way
we?
more than the first time. The first time I watched it, it didn't make my list. And then when I watched it again with you, I'm like, yeah, this probably would have made my list. And I enjoyed it. Definitely.
It's good, ain't it?
and I haven't watched it again for this, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it does have the meta and it does have the humor, but see, okay, it's nice to have campers go on offense and defense for once, because there's that one scene where some are going to do this. They're fighting back against the killer. Okay, let's organize and do something. You guys are going to go on offense. We're going to go on defense. We're going to get this and we're going to figure out. I thought that was cool. There's a nice excessive kill there. One issue I have with the movie is that it isn't lit enough. We can't see the kills as clearly as I'd like. Some of the outside stuff, it's just a little bit underlit, and I
I
would have
wonder
liked to
if
see
probably
more
done on
because
purpose. I bet they did that on purpose.
maybe,
I'll have to
but
check
there's
that
good
out again.
blood.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's my one complaint. That's it. There's a nice head getting chopped in half. I like both of the leads. Of course you have to, otherwise you can't get in the movie because they're on the
Yeah.
phone half the movie, and it's. But I like it. It's kind of silly that nobody got the mask and knife before. That's another little bit of a faux pas on it because it wasn't buried that deep, and people are coming to this camp all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
So I was like, I wish they would have done a little more with that. Good humor, not over the top comedy. And that's the difference. Kills are taken seriously. All the kills are taken seriously. The meta stuff works. Both arms cut off at once was a new one. Yeah, there's one scene when somebody's holding something,
Yeah.
like an axe to come at the killer, and both arms get cut off. And I don't think I've ever seen that in another movie when both arms come off. So thought that was cool.
Except the Total Recall. See you at the party, Richter. Sorry.
Oh,
He gets thrown off the side of an elevator, and the elevator, and he's holding onto his arms, and it tears.
oh,
both of his arms
really?
off.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go. I've only saw it once and
Yeah.
wasn't crazy about it, so I didn't. Okay, right on. I'm happy that the one cheap kill ended up not being a kill, because there was one situation where they said, because they always show the killers and how many counselors are dead and this and that, and they showed the one person that was killed, and I was like, but then it turns out that person wasn't dead, so it's good. And I love Amani, Mama Mia, that girl. So she's cool, and there's a cool little swerve at the end that I didn't remember or see coming, and they did it the right way. The kills look good. The humor is where it's supposed to be, and the killing and the stalking, that stuff is taking seriously. That's the difference between over the top. This is a comedy in horror that works. So, and it's a full head explosion. So I do
Nice.
quite enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's cool. I can't wait to see it again. Mine's possibly controversial. We'll see, in the sense of, like, I think there'll be half of you out there that say, yep, slasher. Other half that'd be like, nope, not slasher. And that's Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. And
Mm.
it's always seems to be on the forgotten slasher lists where
Not
people says,
anymore, it's not.
check out now you're seeing it more and more pop up.
Well, because they got a release and it went on Shudder. For years,
Yeah.
it was overlooked,
I'm
but
saying
now everybody
people
knows it.
now people call it a slasher. Like, oh, this is a forgotten little slasher.
Oh,
Because I think there's people out there, I think we've even had the argument on the show before, whether or not we consider it a slasher. And
right.
when you watch the beginning of it and how it plays out, you'd be like, is this even this time? And I've watched it a few times now. I'd be like, yeah, maybe this isn't a slasher. And then that last act kicks in and you're like, yep, slasher. Because if Blood Rage is a slasher, this is a slasher. Because
Okay.
it's just
Right
someone
on.
going out, killing, and that last act really solidifies it. And then, of course, you learn stuff as it builds up to that and during the last act about the person. And the performances in this movie are great. It's a well-made movie. And on top of it all. And
Oh,
there's blood
definitely is
letting.
that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's to me, I would, you know what? I didn't even rate this one, but I would have to say it's until I figure out, I'd say it's a half head to full head explosion. But
Nice.
it's you forget, like, Julie Duffy's in it. She's great. The main character, the boy's great. The mom or the aunt is fantastic.
Right.
And Bill Paxton has a secondary role in the film as well. I love Bo Svensson. He is that cop that is just so hung up. Like, I don't know if he's a closeted homosexual. I don't know if that's
Well,
what they're
see-
trying to go with his character. I think they might be, because he's so hard pressed that everybody's gay and he wants everybody gay to suffer, and he's calling them delinquents and or deviants.
Right.
And
Mhm.
and even when there's more to the story, and he's even told that there's more to the story. At the final part of that movie, he doesn't want to hear anything of it. He wants to pin it on these gays as
Right.
as the villains. So I think it's just maybe just hate, but you wonder because it's so deep rooted if maybe it's self-referent, or like because there's something that he's going through himself that they never get
I
into
was
that
gonna
realm.
say,
They never get in that
no,
realm, like in the sense of overtly. I guess it's left to us to piece that together, but that just might be more, maybe more modern spin on it. But
that's it. Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I was gonna say. In that respect, it's kind of ahead of its time for the
yeah,
homophobia stuff going on, and it's rampant throughout. And we know for a fact that the one guy is gay. What is he, the
yeah.
gym teacher?
The gym
Right?
teacher, yeah,
And what he has to deal with and everything else, and then how someone else suspects that the other guy is gay as well, and just it seems like it's ahead of its time. It's like it's
well,
talking about things, but not actually, like you said, they don't really come out with it 100%. But it
but you
seems
can
to me
live,
that you can
yeah.
interpret it that way.
It's a
Yeah.
very well made. The action at the beginning is really well done. The like the lead in, or the 14 years later, doesn't seem like wedged in. You get these creepy vibes from the aunt without her being scary creepy. Just like you're like, well, that's a little too intimate for between an aunt and her 17-year-old
Yeah.
boy. It just
Yeah.
excuse me, and it builds from there. Like it's great. When I said, I kind of said, "Oh, if Blood Rage is no, Blood Rage is a slasher because it's
Of course it
overtly
is.
in your
Oh
face
yeah.
slasher." But what I mean is like, it's not traditional in the sense of like we're not seeing an unseen assailant like chopping up people. We
Right.
see the murders happen. It's just the way it plays out. It almost tears it. Well, it does tear a page from Psycho in a sense, but not like it's not a ripoff. It's just
Right.
it borrows like a little bit from here and there, but it's its own thing. And it's definitely getting every time I feel like we're talking about this, it's come up on the show, I think at least 2 or 3 times before. I
Yeah.
think you see more and more people talking about it. Yeah, more of the forgottens come out from the release. I did rent this. I remember the videotape, which looked ridiculous. I think we brought this up when we talked about it on the show before. It's called Night Warning. And
The same night warning. Yep.
it's a him, and I think it's him running across, or a guy holding a girl's hand with a car in the background or something like that, if I'm remembering it correctly. I almost have to bring up the video game, which has
Oh.
nothing to do with the movie whatsoever.
It was a VHS?
Yeah, VHS.
Okay. I'm gonna look it up. That's cool though.
I may have
Night
even
Warning.
owned the VHS cut box though, so
Wow.
don't get excited out there, VHS collectors. It was a cut box version back in the day. But I believe Night Warning may have been cut, but I don't remember. I honestly this is just me going by memory.
Was that the one?
No,
Okay.
no,
There's a
not at
couple of
all.
them. Well, that's okay. There's a couple of them. All right.
Here, you talk about yours, and I'll look for
Okay.
the poster for the visual component. Again, guys, watch the video, and then we won't have to keep warning you about these visual
Right.
components.
That's the one right there.
That is the one. Oh, it's eyes, not a car.
Eyes in the background.
Yeah,
And the
yep,
two running.
that's the one.
Right.
Dave found
So
it.
I'll go to my next one. Okay. This one really, this is one that went up for me. So that's a good thing. It's The Initiation.
Oh, I have
And,
that on my to watch list. Yes, nice.
Nice. No, it's good stuff.
Daphne.
Delta Roll Kai will never die. Yeah.
Yeah.
Daphne Zuniga in her first role. And without getting into spoilers, she has to do a couple different things in the
Yeah.
role. And she does it pretty well. And she is very relatable. You know, she's another cute girl with good morals. You know what I mean? And you root for her. Very relatable. Then we have the stuff in the beginning, the sanitarium, and the nurse kills 7 inmates escape. Clu Gallagher's in there. Then we get some memory. See, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's almost like what they did in Happy Birthday to Me. With there was an accident in the past, and they have to dive into, what's happening in her dreams and what she remembers and what actually went down, and she gets involved in all that stuff. The parents are having issues theorizing about dreams and resting and
Yeah, there's
stuff like
there's
that.
a lot going on beyond the slasher component that happens. Is it going to a shopping center? Like almost
Yeah,
like
well,
Hide or Go Shriek, like for the the second half or the climax or whatever.
Correct. But this
Yeah,
one
okay.
actually does that better. I mean, Hide and Go Shriek is more fun. This is a different type of slasher though.
Yeah.
But yeah, because she's in Delta Rokai, they got to break into the thing. So she breaks in to hang with her friends, and they're trying to mess with them. And the other, like, there's two different parties. There's the group that's trying to mess with the pledges, and then the pledges themselves, and everybody's kind of messing with each other, and that's fun. But the kills, for the most part, work. The boner costume was funny. You have the party was a little bit of fun. It's a serious movie actually, but
Yeah.
then they went to that party for a bit. That broke it up, and that felt more like an '80s fun stuff. And then it's weird because this one girl quits out of nowhere, and it's never explained why. And maybe if I'm go back and look, maybe there's something I don't know, but they're all getting ready. Then all of a sudden the girl just stops and she's like, you know what? She goes, what are we doing? We're acting like we're in high school still. We're going to be doing this and this, and we're in college now. We're doing this. I don't want to do this kid stuff. And she's one of the freaking friends of the lead. And out of nowhere, she just decides not to go in and walks out. And then it's so weird that they did it. I thought maybe that was going to lead to the reveal, but it doesn't. So it's just a weird thing to do. Yeah, both sides trying to trick each other. There's a hatchet to the head, arrow through the body, and then something unusual. This girl opens up about being molested out of nowhere. It's like a touching, very serious, dramatic moment between these teens that are in this place. And she starts talking about it, and then we get a reveal, which wasn't so much of a reveal. The final one has a great twist, which is cool. The killer always shuts off the lights first for some reason. Then they have this one shot with the two girls screaming at different times, at the same time for different reasons. They're going back. One girl's getting killed. One girl's having sex, and they go.
Yeah.
So there was some. It's a good story, and the kills are fine. I just have never. I always let the story kind of put me off before, but that's what I found more interesting this time around was the story, and it got me to thinking. It's almost
Interesting.
like,
Okay. Cool. That's good.
yeah. Do you prefer slashers that are just basic, or do you prefer the ones that actually have a plot around them that lead to slashing?
I mean, I
No?
want both. I like both. I think
Right.
that's it. Like, I mean, basic is fun, and I'll take
Yeah.
basic sometimes, but I'm not
Right.
against these other ones. And I do remember what I thought I remembered from this was that there's some good bloodletting here and there,
Mhm.
good acting. I like Daphne,
Mhm.
and I remember it having a decent end, but a little bit muddled, weird story at the
That's the
beginning.
issue.
So that's why I want to go back because I wasn't sure if maybe I'd make more sense of it this time. But I
That's
thought it
the
was a little
problem. You won't.
okay. All right.
It won't make sense because when the reveal happens, you find out. See, one is kind of easy. That's why I said there was a reveal that was easy to call. And that part was easy. There's the beginning, there's the guy, there's the fire. We find out about the father, right? And then he escaped. Okay, well, maybe that's so you can kind of piece together half of it. But then
Yeah.
the other thing happens at the end, and the other component comes in, and you're like, okay, so what? So were they both at the asylum or not? Because
Yeah.
the other one wasn't mentioned or seen anywhere.
Yeah.
So what were and I
Or-
tried to make sense of it, and I even looked it up online. I watched the freaking, what do you call it? The commentary during that scene. They didn't even acknowledge it. They were just talking about everything else and some other stuff. So I was like, so ultimately, I guess it's not going to make. They're not going to give you the story. You're going to have to. That's one thing they let off. You just got to fill in the
But
blanks
you're
yourself,
okay
which is
with it.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather it be explained, but I can live with it, and it's enough that it's going to be a half-head explosion for me. So
Nice. Oh,
But
I don't
I did
have the
like it,
disc
though.
of this. I was going to watch it on Tubi. It was one of the ones I listed. I actually made a big list of the ones that were available on Tubi, so I could just. You could do it in Tubi, just put it to my list. But sometimes
Right.
I like having something to cross off or delete in my notes or whatever as well. I don't know. I'm weird that way, where I can go to my
Understood.
notes in my phone and then see
Like
the
I have here.
initiation and delete it. And then
Right.
I like doing that too.
100%. I don't delete it. I just have, what do you call? I write it down, and then I know I've already watched it. You know what I mean? And then whatever.
Oh, well,
You
that's
could do
where
it on
my
Letterboxd,
is. Yeah.
but I won't because I don't know. It's hard to explain because I've watched them maybe like 4 years ago. I logged them like 4 years ago, but that's too long. I want to watch it again. Like The Initiation. If I was to go and put the thing that I watch not coming up on the randomizer or not coming up on the thing, I never would be able to watch the initiation because it would say I already watched it. So you can't leave it open for first time watches. So
Yeah.
that's the, I can't do that. So I just do it on my own.
And did you ever watch that they called him mostly harmless? That
No, I did
documentary I
not get
talked
to it
about?
yet.
Okay.
I'm going to, but not yet. They called him Bruce.
Yeah. They call me Bruce. No, this is good, man.
His name
That was
Bruce. Yeah.
that I'm looking forward to seeing that again. I'd already watched How to Go Shriek. My God, I feel like I've gotten a lot of ones watched that were needed to be rewatched, but I look at what is still to be watched and I'm shocked. There's so many.
Lots. Do you look at
Oh,
my
just-
list? My 180?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have links
I
to
worked
it.
hard.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then I looked at a list on IMDb because they had number one was The Redeemer on it. I don't know if that was their number one pick for them or if they're just it was the number one that was on their list of the list that they
Interesting.
made. And so then I was like going through that one too because I'm like, okay, well this is also good because I'll just take all the ones that I've watched off of it and then go from there.
There
So
you go.
between those lists,
Yeah.
I'm set.
Definitely. Good. Very good. So what do you got?
Well,
One more,
awesome.
two more?
No, I thought that was it. I thought we were just talking.
Oh, that's
You did-
fine. I'll save the other ones for next time. I didn't know that
Yeah.
was 4 we just did. Okay.
I
maybe it
thought
was.
I meant I was doing 2, you were doing 2, 4 in total. I thought that's what you meant. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah,
meant you
that's
had
what-
4.
No, I
I
just meant that
forget.
the other 2 were not slashers and I just named them. And that was it because I'm not
Okay.
going to go. It was the Ruins and Moon Garden. So I'm
Well,
good.
I'll
I'm
save the
done.
rest. I
Yeah.
have freaking
Well-
like 5 more I could talk about next time. So I'll do the best I can when the time comes. We got a lot.
My God,
So,
man. Yeah, it's
Maybe
crazy.
next time we'll either continue to do this style if that's what the listeners want. And if not, the opening BS could just be us doing that. And then we can actually do a review of something else. I don't know. Whatever. But
We'll see if
Doesn't
anything
matter.
gets released as well. Because there's that Founders Day that is already out of
people
theaters,
have
but
been watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why theaters. Right.
it was in
Okay.
theaters. I don't think it's still in theaters. I think it's been gone from theaters
Probably
now
not.
for a while. So
Yeah.
anyway, and then again, the initial reviews were sort of ho hum. But again, if you're not, people are hard on slashers sometimes. Like it's difficult. I can be hard on slashers. It just depends. Sometimes they
Yeah.
just hit you in the right way. I mean, we both love the Final Girls, and there are people that hate it because of the lack of gore and stuff.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
You
This
get
is
on-
weird. When I look at Founders Day, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 people. And they rank it anywhere from 4 stars to 1 star. So we got 2, 2, 3, 1.5, 4, 2, 1, 2.5, 3.5, 2, and 3.5. So
Interesting.
people are really all over the board. Jason Smith is at 1, which does not happen. He usually gives everything 4s. So he apparently hated it. Holy cow.
Yeah, every now and then
So-
he'll hate a movie. And I usually don't
Yes.
hate that movie, which is actually really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Usually
I
the
feel you.
one, and then there's something that he absolutely loves that I'm like, what are you smoking? But
I know,
that's
right? Yeah, it's
again,
funny.
that's just the reality of it. What is going on here?
Yeah, that's tastes. Everybody's got different ones, right?
I'm
So
trying to find let me just see if I can. Oh my God. Now it's asking me. I hate when it does that. There we go. Yeah, no, Founders Day is still, it just looks like it hasn't been released physically yet.
well, hopefully it's not too much longer. Yeah, it's not available anywhere. You can't stream it, nothing. So
Yeah.
we shall see. Founders
Anyway.
Day. We'll keep our eye on it. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So we're done.
All right.
That's it.
We're
Okay.
out.
You got anything else you want to?
No,
Say-
hey, everybody, again, I've said
No.
it, I've plugged it twice on the show already, but go check out Pretty Bad Movie Gab if you want some non-horror talk. It's my buddy Mike and I talking about
Right.
films. I haven't been on any other episodes of Dead Man's Party because I just haven't been able to record them. So the Rocky ones are all out now. And I think they've continued with a bunch of other people. So, but
Right
hey,
on.
check it out still. It's worth checking out. But yeah, that's it. Otherwise, yeah, take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. Check it out. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say this. Anybody listening now, in the future, whatever, try to go and give us a rating on iTunes. I think we have 226 or 227 now. And we haven't had any at all in 2024. Not one person has done it. So I figured I'd create an incentive and I'd give away a prize pack like I've done before. So anything that's done in January, well, now it's March, but I mean, I guess I'll give it to the end of April. But at the end of April, we'll have a drawing if we have more people, because I like to have as many
Well, that's
ratings as
difficult
we do
though.
shows.
That's the difficult not in nature because this is only going to be heard by our patrons right now.
Right. Well,
So
maybe
I
there's
almost have
5
to-
that haven't done it.
Okay, well that's it. If you're a patron that hasn't done it, please do it. It does help the algorithm. It kind of injects life into the show.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, yeah, we should put this at the beginning of another episode as well, just like one that goes out
Yes.
onto the airs or airways.
I
which
forgot
one-
to.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I'm gonna post something. I'm gonna put a picture up and I'm gonna put it on our socials. So I'm gonna put it out there. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to do it and have a contest. Maybe we can get 20 people to give us some, because I like to. We have 232 shows now, and we have 226 or 27 ratings. I always want us to be around the same. That's
Yeah.
my goal.
That's great.
You
That's
know?
great. Awesome.
You know, I think it's fair. You know what I mean? 1 rating per show. I think we deserve at least that for our efforts. Why not?
Yeah.
So anyway, enough about us. Thank you. We love you guys. If you guys aren't listening, we're not doing it. So thank you. You know, much love. Manchichi. We love you all. And please weigh in. Please weigh in. Especially now that I'm paying attention to it again. Because I just did everything on YouTube and on Facebook. I came off just to do some things, and in here on the Patreon page, I said I'm gonna focus on responding to everybody. And now that I'm all caught up, it's not so much of a chore. So please weigh in on anything we may have asked you about. We need the feedback. The show's for you guys. So let us know if this format's good, or what you want us to do, or what you don't want us to do. And that's enough. My God, I'm out of breath. Much love.
Take
Peace.
care, everybody.
Manchichi.
You say no.